Yo, what's going on, everybody? Hello there, hello there, hello there. Yeah, Noel made this a while back. Just kind of had it in a folder sitting there. I was like, I don't have a starting screen this time because I'm not in the game. What's going on, Eric? Hello for you. Lime, not now, Kev. I'm all alone and I have to do the Valentine's event in 14. But you're not alone. We're all here with you. Yeah, go get some sleep, Galator. It's all good. What's going on, Mama J? But yeah, there's the starting screen right there. What's going on, Mordecus? What's going on, Hella Deadly? Yeah, this is canon lore accurate moon event that happens in the Renala fight, you know? Hello, welcome in, everyone. What's going on, Nalimiloran? Hello, hello. Let me turn this down a little bit. So I got my popcorn. I said I was gonna have popcorn. I have a bag that I popped, but I'll pour it into the bowl so I'm not making all sorts of noise. And I got a brewski. Just a lager. But Eric says, I'm interested to see the playlist. Here's the thing. I don't have a playlist. I figured we'd wing it and take suggestions. I do know we're going to start with the Vityavidya Elden Ring lore video. And we know we have some Carbot stuff that we can go through too. But we're definitely going to start with some lore stuff today, I believe. The heavy stuff. Get something knocked out of the way. Victory! Victory! H2O, thank you for 20, was that 28? 28 months of friendship. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I was going to say goodness, but then I said, oh my gosh. That's a lot of friendship. Let me see. Okay, I hope everyone's doing well. Oh, Vatavidya. That's how you say the name. Vatavidya. Yeah, I figure we start here. This seems to be the best medium one of these lore videos. General all-purpose lore video of sorts that we can check out. Can I repeat everything I just said? Oh, I just said I don't have a playlist planned. We're gonna wing it. We already know we're gonna start with lore stuff today, and then we know there's some Carbot stuff too. So, not now, Cav. I'm watching live the top 2 Smash Bros. Melee players for the past 2 years, currently fighting for 17th place. Is the Smash Bros. Melee scene still going ham or what? Well, so there were definitely a couple of Vatividya videos that seem like Elden Ring general all-purpose kind of lore videos, but some of them are older, some of them are newer. I was hoping, we kind of talked about it the other day, but I was hoping one of you guys had a recommendation. Let's go on the bad trip. You vote for Chase the Bro? Chase the Bro. What does this guy do? I'll pull this up here too. Oh yeah, this is like, so yeah. Looks like these are like, you know, I did this build sort of thing in Elden Ring, right? So yeah, there's a lot of different kinds of videos out there. So there's lore, there's stuff like this. Carbot, funny stuff, you know, so. Oh, these are PvP builds, got it. Age of Stars. Okay, let's sort by... Let's see, where does the Elden Ring... Okay, Elden Ring story trailer. Okay, so she's talking about the story trailer here. I played the final build of Elden Ring, so I think Elden Ring was like starting to come out around this time, huh? Elden Ring lore explained? This seems like this is one of his first like Elden Ring lore ones. Perhaps we can start there, right?
Our story doesn't...
One of the first ones. Then he has demigods explained and all that. Yeah, so there's a lot. I just want an all-purpose lore video. Just like a nice, like, general, let's cover the lore in entirely in a way that's all encompassing as much as possible in broad strokes as a good place to start. Look at Jose. Oh, he's got playlists for it too, huh? That could be helpful. Lore shorts, Elden Ring lore. Okay, so this is the full playlist over here. Like, do you think this one is too general? What's going on, Mal? Sorry. We love broad strokes. Yes, we do.
Our story doesn't...
Okay, maybe we start here. And we just see, Yeah, this looks like it'll cover, the basics that we need, right? For sure. All right, we're starting here. We gotta start somewhere.
Doesn't begin in the lands between.
Just to confirm for everyone, this is Vatavidya, Elden Ring's lore explained. Okay. Let's just get it going, huh?
The story doesn't begin in the lands between.
How's the volume?
It begins in the cosmos, far away, with
Age of the Stars,
god called the Greater Will. There are a lot of outer gods mentioned in Elden Ring. You can think of these kind of like the Great Ones of Bloodborne. They're distant beings. They're all-powerful, and they're quite unknowable by design.
He said there's a lot of outer gods. Like, a lot. I don't know what a lot entails, but, you know, the Greater Will seems to be the main one. I guess the Frenzy dude. Then you got, like... what was I gonna say? The blood mother, right? Rot, I suppose, yeah. So I guess every kind of like, or like one of those kind of afflictions that seem, you know, a little dastardly, perhaps, is one of them. Outer gods. Like death, okay, yeah. Everyone trying to influence this world in some way.
But many of these outer gods want to make their presence felt in the world. The Greater Will, maybe most of all. To this end, it sent a golden star hurtling towards the lands between. The Elden Star's incantation tells us that this golden star was bearing a beast, an Elden beast. The Elden Remembrance calls it a vassal beast of the Greater Will. If you didn't know, a vassal is someone who holds land on behalf of their overlord. Obviously, this is fitting in this case, because the Elden Beast occupied the lands between on behalf of the Greater Will, and was a living incarnation of the concept of order. As such, this beast would later become the Elden Ring. The Elden Ring...
Okay. We're going to be pausing a lot, by the way. We're going to be... Is it that quiet for you guys? I feel like it shouldn't be that quiet right now. Okay, so the first...
It's maybe most of all. The Elden Star's incantation sent a golden star hurtling towards...
The Greater Will sent a golden star hurtling. It was the first golden star to arrive here. It was basically Elden Beast incarnate, establishing the Greater Will's order, right?
Elden Star's incantation tells us that this golden star was bearing a beast, an Elden beast. The Elden Remembrance calls it a vassal beast of the Greater Will. If you didn't know, a vassal is someone who holds land on behalf of their overlord. Obviously, this is fitting in this case, because the Elden Beast occupied the lands between on behalf of the Greater Will, and was a living incarnation of the concept of order. As such,
the living
this beast
incarnation
would
of
later
order
become the Elden Ring. The Elden Ring...
And it would become the Elden Ring. There's a lot of like the lore in this game that I get in like a general sense, but then there's like some like the specific stuff, like this turned into this, and then this became this, and this was because of this, that like kind of like, you know, I gloss over. Sort of Viva the Freedom. Hello, Max. Right, this was before the DLC. And then we learned that Meteor, okay, we learned that Meteor is the first shooting star. Okay, but this is the first golden star. Now, I guess the... Okay, well, maybe we'll get into that.
Itself is made up of runes of
I'll hold
power,
off for now.
some great, some small, that together represent a sort of logic for the world to follow. Thus, the Elden Ring represents order, the true logic for the world.
I'm going back. I'm going back already.
The Elden Ring itself is made up of runes of power, some great, some small, that together represent a sort of logic for the world to follow. Thus, the Elden Ring represents order. The true nature of this order is a subject of constant debate and research undergone by fundamentalists. But two of the key fundamentals are the laws of causality and regression. You can think of the law of causality as cause and effect, where actions have consequences, and those consequences are new causes that branch out into infinity. These are the relationships between things. Then there's the law of regression that states that all things eternally yearn to converge and return to their roots. Fittingly, then, the Elden Ring is housed within the Erd Tree, which towers over the lands between. But it's very important to stress that life in the lands between did not begin with the Erd Tree, the Elden Ring, or the Elden Beast. No, the lands between were occupied well before the Greater Will came.
Yes. What's going on, Lady J, by the way? That is something that remained mysterious for a bit, but I specifically, I do remember when we got to the mountaintops of the giants, right? I'm sure there was a lot of other examples, but this is the first one that came to mind. But they were talking about, oh, the dragons, I suppose, as well, right? There's a lot of instances where they talk about, you know, who was the lord, right? There was like a dragon was an elden lord at one point, but like other people, factions, powers were in control before the Erd Tree at one point, which were, you know, that was kind of mysterious for a while, but then you start getting some hints to that as you progress the game, so...
There were other beings here. There were other factions here. There were other gods here. And there was even another great tree here before the Erd Tree. And this is where a huge twist regarding the Erd Tree comes in. So, there are incantations in the game called aspects of the crucible. According to their descriptions, these are manifestations of the Erd Tree's primal vital energies. And I quote, "They are an aspect of the primordial crucible where all life was once blended together." But how could all life be...
Hold on, I'm gonna re-listen to that again, because, you know, again, this is the perfect example of one of those things that, yes, we found some lore on before, and we learned about people, that one Crucible Knight who went to go find the source of the Crucible, and we, you know, there's skills that are Crucible specifics. But for the longest time, I'm like, I know what the Crucible is, but I also just, like, I don't know what it is as well. You know what I mean? I'm gonna listen to that part again.
According to their descriptions, these are manifestations of the Erd Tree's primal vital energies. According to their descriptions, these are manifestations of the Erd Tree's primal vital energies.
primal energy. Erdtree's primal energy, okay.
And I quote, "They are an aspect of the primordial crucible where all life was once blended together." But how could all life be blended together in the Erdtree if the Erdtree appeared after life existed? Well, there can only be one answer, right? That the Erdtree is a parasite, and it took over a tree that existed here before. This ancient tree was called the Great Tree. So the Great Tree was almost certainly the location of this primordial crucible, and it must have been a...
This is in the deep rock, deep root depths. Correct? I don't really remember going through lore and being like, there was once another great tree here or something. I'm sure we did. I just don't really recall that, you know. Also, welcome in, everyone. If I don't say hello to you right away, it's because we're in the middle of some exposition, but what's going on, Lurk? Suzu, Nama. Yeah, there was like 2 named Crucible Knights in this area. Okay. I'm not gonna lie. There's already parts of this, right? We're learning about the Crucible, but then the Crucible is the manifestation of the Erdtree, right? The Erdtree something, but then you have, okay, the confusion already.
One answer, right? That the Erdtree is a parasite, and it took over a tree that existed here before. This ancient tree was called the Great Tree. So the Great Tree was almost certainly the location of this primordial crucible, and it must have been a very powerful primordial force for the Greater Will to have commandeered. It might even be the reason the Lands Between is important to the Greater Will in the first place. It also explains why spells and enemies related to the Great Tree's crucible would eventually be looked down upon. For example, the Knot Talisman is fashioned from a knotted vestige of the crucible, and it was considered a signifier of the divine in ancient times, but is now increasingly disdained as an impurity as civilization has advanced. Enemies related to the crucible are the Omen, the Misbegotten, and the Crucible Knights, and all 3 of them would be shunned, enslaved, or imprisoned. Those who speak for the Erdtree don't want you to know its roots, so to speak.
I do recall there a general sense of coming across some Crucible Knight lore and how they were like shunned in some way. And obviously you have the non-pure, you know, demi-humans and Misbegotten and the Omens and stuff who, what's that guy's name? Like Kenneth Haight. I'm sure a lot of others like look down upon. The impure. What's going on, Cat Soup Lover? Yeah, so we're just starting here because it's like the first one, but we'll definitely try to go to, we'll go to a more recent one. We'll start here at the beginning, and then maybe we'll see what one of his more latest broad-reaching lore videos are, so we can get the corrections. Okay, I'm gonna rewind again, so I make sure I consume this knowledge. We're starting here.
It also explains why spells and enemies related to the Great Primordial Crucible, and it must have been a very powerful primordial force for the Greater Will to have commandeered. It might even be the reason the Lands Between
I'm in
is
college
important
again.
to the Greater Will in the first place. It also explains why spells and enemies related to the Great Tree's crucible would eventually be looked down upon. For example, the Knot Talisman is fashioned from a knotted vestige of the crucible, and it was considered a signifier of the divine in ancient times, but is now increasingly disdained as an impurity as civilization has advanced. Enemies related to the crucible are the Omen, the Misbegotten, and the Crucible Knights, and all 3 of them would be shunned, enslaved, or imprisoned. Those who speak for the Erdtree don't want you to know its roots.
You know, that's so interesting, right? Because and there's so many parallels to like the real world, right? But because I mentioned it before, but going through the game in the beginning, right, it felt like the Golden Order was all I knew, and the Golden Order was true and the standard, and you know, the balanced way to rule or whatever, right? And then you start to learn about, you know, all these other ideals. But yeah, in the real world too, imagine, especially, you know, as civilizations have come and gone, the suppression of information or roots, right? If it fits, you know, the ruling party's narrative. Like, what do we want the people to know? What do we want them to forget, as it pertains to us continuing to hold this power, perhaps?
So to speak. According to the spell, protection of the Erd Tree, in the beginning everything was in opposition to the Erd Tree, but through countless victories in war, it became the embodiment of order.
In Marika's own words, the Erd Tree governs all. The choice is thine. Become one with the order, or divest thyself of it, to wallow at the fringes, a powerless upstart.
But the Greater Will needed more than a big tree. It needed loyal agents in the lands between. To this end, it has the Two Fingers, who are its envoys. The Two Fingers heirloom has a weird picture of them, but it reads, "Of course, fingers cannot speak, yet these are eloquent. Persistently they wriggle, spelling out mysteries in the air. Thus did we gain the words of our faith." These words are interpreted by the finger readers. These are the undying old crones that you would have found throughout the lands between. They pass down the wisdom of the Two Fingers, or at least they used.
Basically, everything was propaganda. What's going on, Kai? What's going on, Unluckiest? What's going on, Boogans? Yeah, the winners write the history. It's just interesting to think about it in this way. I mean, this is one of the reasons why. I mean, it was maybe part of the reason, but a slice of the pie of why we chose to go with the ending that we did and not return to the status quo. Though I believe we didn't actually unlock the true Golden Order ending because we didn't find a stupidly hidden item to give to the pointy guy. What was his face? Dare to forget his face. The traffic light. The traffic conductor. Gold mask.
to.
Your fingers, please, your fingers. I can read them.
Most of them appear to have lost their purpose, and they're desperate to read your fingers and tell you annoying riddles, since their two fingers are likely dead. And yes, of course, there are multiple sets of two fingers. You would have found their corpses on the tops of the divine towers.
I don't know if he's going to get into this, or maybe there's another video, but I'm curious about why fingers. The agents of the Erd Tree, it's proctors, it's divine chanters. Why fingers? What is the purpose of fingers? What does that symbolize?
Atop these towers, you loot the fingers in order to activate the true power of a great rune. Specifically though, you are giving benediction back to your great rune. You're taking a blessing back from the two dead fingers, essentially. This is just one of many blessings. Specifically though, of course, there are multiple sets of two fingers. You would have found their corpses on the tops of the divine towers. Atop these towers, you loot the fingers in order to activate the true power of a great rune. Specifically though, you are giving benediction back to your great rune. You're taking a blessing back from the two dead fingers, essentially. This is just one of many blessings that the two fingers can bestow, and my point is kind of that the two fingers clearly have more than just influence. They have real power. Two fingers.
Ranny who goes to great lengths to slay her own two fingers. Oh, is that what was going on here? You know, when we were getting hitched to Ranny, I don't know if I actually looked at this and was like, oh, those are like two fingers. I don't know if I actually realized that. And then also the connotation of what he's saying down here. What's going on, best lore? I misplaced my hat. A wizard never misplaces his hat. See, I don't okay, yeah, we gave her a weapon to do it. That's one of the things that I don't really remember. I remember giving her some, a bunch of shit and helping her out. I don't remember what it was specifically.
Clearly have more than just influence. They have real power on some level. The Greater Will needs these powerful envoys and agents because, while it's obviously incredibly powerful, it does seem limited by a few things. First is
I remember we helped her slay an assassin of the Greater Will, of the Two Fingers, who was going for her. Remember that.
space. The Greater Will didn't come to the lands between itself, it sent an elden beast to do its bidding instead. Second is time. There is a moment later in the game where your pair of Two Fingers go still because they're forced to commune with the Greater Will for guidance.
When they are finished,
It's like an antenna. That's why it went catatonic and stiff. It's trying to get the max reception. It makes sense now.
the fingers will again offer their guidance. But thousands, if not tens of thousands, of moons must first pass. No matter for me. But you, how will you ever manage to wait?
So the Greater Will needs a physical manifestation of order. It needs envoys to convey its will, but what it also needs is a god. Introducing Marika the Eternal. I have this utterly enormous mind map of Elden Ring's lore, and there's a reason she's at the center. She's essentially the map of Elden Ring's lore.
Oh my god. Yo, this guy goes crazy, dude. You know what this reminds me of? This was like me in Final Fantasy 14 and other story games. As sometimes. But this guy is going even deeper.
And there's a reason she's at the center. She's essentially the equivalent of Gwyn from Dark Souls, except unlike Gwyn, Marika didn't just crawl out of the dark and find power. To an extent, it seems like she earned it. We don't know much about her origins, except that she is of the Numen race, which is actually an origin that you can choose in the character selections.
Yeah, you know, hearing the word Newman, and obviously there's probably some meaning to the actual words here, but this made me, when we started learning about this in the game, it made me think of like Numenorians from Lord of the Rings. So in my mind, I was like, oh, the Numenorians were kind of like the, well, not the originators, but like, you know, one of the like originators of a race or a line of people, right?
Screen. Numen come from outside the lands between, and are supposed descendants of denizens of another world, long-lived but seldom born. At some point, Marika was chosen as an Empyrean. What is an Empyrean? Well, an Empyrean is a being chosen by the Fingers as a candidate for godhood. As an Empyrean, Marika received the aid of a shadow to do her bidding. So what is a shadow? Well, it's a wolf, shadow-bound to its Empyrean by the Two Fingers. Lunar Princess Rani is another example of an Empyrean with a shadow-bound beast. You would have met Blythe.
There's our guy.
These creatures are the Empyrean's very own shadow. They are completely loyal to their needs, and
but we learn that these creatures are also kind of like the Greater Will's way of saying, like, hey, you're my inside guy in case anything were to go awry. You know what I mean? You kind of keeping tabs for me, and you ultimately do my bidding.
by definition, incapable of treachery. Marika's shadow was a beast called Malakath. Every Empyrean uses their shadow in different ways, but Marika's sole need of her shadow was as a vessel to lock away destined death. So what is destined death?
Oh boy.
Well, according to Enya, it's the rune of death.
The rune of death goes back.
That's a great point. Did so Mikola and Millennia never had a shadow, or at least one that we know of? Like they were never gifted like a vassal like that? That's what I'm Mortis. Oh yeah, no, we're just trying to see what we can learn here. I would say the one thing that doesn't separate me from them is production value. I think I could match this production value. There's a lot of B-roll, cool cinematic shots and stuff here. However, I think the one thing that separates me from them is I only played through the game once, but clearly this person did a lot of research. So yes, I realize I'm listening to this person's interpretations. However, so far, based on what I'm hearing, they do seem to be wiser as far as my understanding of the game and their understanding of the game. So I will obviously take it with a grain of salt, but I am very interested to hear what they have to say, you know?
Two names. The other is destined death.
We mentioned earlier that the Elden Ring is made up of runes, and
by the way, that shape is so interesting to me. For reasons. I always say this. What's going on, Noel? I always say this. When it comes to these like really story-heavy games, one of my favorite things to do is, and the way I describe it is, I like to seek out people who are smarter than me, or have done more research than me, and you know, get their opinion on things to help me understand things, because there's a lot of stuff we've already learned. And if it's truthful, whether it's like 100% accurate or not, like we're only like 8.5 minutes in, but my base understanding of how this world is working has increased quite a bit. Just from some of those basic stuff that we've been going over, you know?
at some point, maybe when she was chosen as a god, Marika plucked the Rune of Death from the Elden Ring. She gave the Rune of Death to Malekith, her totally loyal shadow, who bore a black blade imbued with this rune. It's kind of genius, really. In a single act, she removed the concept of death from the lands between, while also commanding total control of death through her shadow, who could deliver it at her whim. Now, some of you might be asking, if death is removed from the lands between, how come I can kill this dog? First off, shame on you. Second, from a lore point of view, that dog isn't really dead. It's simply in the process of its spirit, or its soul, returning to the Erd Tree. Catacomb dungeons, for example, are specifically constructed near the roots of the Great Tree for this reason, so that the Erd Tree can reabsorb their ashes back into it. This process replaced the concept of a death that you were destined to have.
You know, that makes sense. I didn't really think about that. Like, why is this catacomb here? I mean, obviously, you know, we noticed the roots and everything. But yeah. Hold on. Like, this seems so basic, right? But for me, I'm like, maybe I have like ideas of this in my head at the time, or feelings regarding this of a similar nature, but I just like never formed it into like a truly coherent thought, or, you know, a string of words that really like described maybe a feeling or a notion that I had about this whole concept. But I do completely understand the I mean, you know, I think of like the circle of life, or, you know, you hear it a lot. Wise people will say, or Gandalf will, or maybe Gandalf will say too, but like, you know, that death isn't the end, right? In a lot of stories and lore, and maybe even in your own spirituality, right? Death isn't the end. There's more to come after. Here, it goes through the Erd Tree.
So that the Erd Tree can reabsorb their ashes back into it. This process replaced the concept of a death that you were destined to have. But this random spirit outside of a catacomb dungeon says it best. As another example of this theory, when you kill a major boss, you receive a remembrance of them. These are spirits, and they are hewn into the Erd Tree. In this way, thanks to the Erd Tree's grace, their spirits are immortalized, in a sense. This new...
Oh, we're gonna replay this again, because the idea of spirits in this game always kind of confused me at some points, but also to address Lourdes's comments. Yeah, so that's why like I will be pausing a lot to try to also explain like what my thoughts were, or how I understood it, or maybe if it's something new. So expect a lot of pausing. But yeah, I will try to include my own thoughts and opinions on it as well.
Says it best.
White shores and beyond, chicken waffle.
As another example of this,
Like there's, yeah, I mean, there's like a lot of like small lines of dialogue like this that like I'll come across in the game. And probably in the moment it like sure, like I get it, but I don't like, maybe I'm not like thinking about it so hard in this sense, but.
As another example of this theory, when you kill a major boss, you receive a remembrance of them. These are spirits, and they are hewn into the Erd Tree. In this way, thanks to the Erd Tree's grace, their spirits are immortalized, in a sense. This new form of death also explains what's happening when you summon spirits.
From ash and return to the Erd Tree.
However, some spirits never return to the Erd Tree, and they rise within death as corpses or skeletons instead.
Which, the whole thing about them having, I mean, that's like living in death, right? And, you know, clearly there was the whole death plotline where they're like, we want to make it acceptable to live in death. But, like, are they actually, like, does this skeleton have feelings or thoughts or emotions, or is it just act like, you know what I mean? Is that still a way to live? Maybe? Well, who am I to take that away from them, I suppose? From the Skelly Bro.
Rise within death as corpses or skeletons instead. So this was the new order, and it's important to stress that it was in this moment, when the rune of death was removed, when destined death was taken, this is when order became the Golden Order.
The forbidden shadow plucked from the Golden Order upon its creation.
Specifically, this was Marika's
quite the image.
Golden Order. So not only did she become a god and a vessel for the Elden Ring, she became renowned as Marika the Eternal for her removal of destined death. It was a huge part of her character and her reign as well. However, Marika had more than just death to conquer. She had wars to fight, as the world was occupied by many forces.
I'm just thinking about something, because in a sense, her removing destined death, right? Because the way he did, hold on, let's listen to how he described that again, how the people describe Marika.
Order upon its creation.
Specifically, this was Marika's Golden Order. So not only did she become a god and a vessel for the Elden Ring, she became renowned as Marika the Eternal for her removal of destined death.
It's kind of interesting, right? The Eternal, because I suppose if someone is living in destined death, then they are in some ways eternal as well. But with the removal, it's an interesting thought, right? Because with the removal of destined death, or like living in death, then that allows things to just die, which doesn't seem so eternal. But in the whole grand scheme of like, oh yeah, we return to the Erd Tree and then circle of life, I suppose that is eternal in a way, right? That's just what I'm thinking.
It was a huge part of her character and her reign as well. However, Marika had more than just death to conquer. She had wars to fight, as the world was occupied by many forces that could threaten her Golden Order. There was war with the Stormlord, who likely ruled over Stormvale, and there was a war with the Giants, who were masters of a flame that could burn the Erd Tree. There was war with the Ancient Dragons, who incidentally had stones that could twist time and thus slay a god. For her removal, a huge part of her as well to conquer, she had wars to fight, as the world was occupied by many forces that could threaten her Golden Order. There was war with the Stormlord, who like.
So are the okay? So it does make like we learned about like the storm. I mean, whatever items we gave to Nefeli Lu, right? What was it, like a storm call and something like that, right? Okay, it makes sense that they would live in Stormvale. Are they technically the Lus as well? Are the Storm Lords, were they of the Lu lineage? Or is that something else?
Likely ruled over Stormvale, and there was a war with the Giants, who were masters of a flame that could burn the Erd Tree. There was war with the ancient dragons, who incidentally had stones that could twist time and thus slay a god. And finally, there was war brewing with the Carrion royalty, who had previously obeyed laws which contravened the Golden Order. Thus, sort of similar to how the Greater Will needed an Empyrean to enforce its will, Marika herself needed someone to wage war. So, there was to be a husband, a consort, an Elden Lord. The man to be Marika herself. Thus, sort of similar to how the Greater Will needed an Empyrean to enforce its will, Marika herself needed someone to wage war. So, there was to be a husband, a consort, an Elden Lord. The man chosen was Hoarah, a ferocious warrior who became known as the Lord of the Battlefield. His crown was warranted with strength, and while it was for this strength that Marika married him, he was also required to take a vow to conduct himself as a lord. To suppress the ceaseless lust for battle that raged within, Hoarah took the beast regent Sarosh upon his back. You'll notice this is another example of a beast being given for the purpose of serving order. Thus, in this moment, he went from being Hoarah, warrior, to Godfrey, the first Elden Lord, consort to Queen Marika, and a certified demigod.
Okay. Alright, so that explains it. I mean, it makes sense, right? When he releases himself from Sarosh, he goes into full-on, you know, Lu warrior mode. Like, I'm about to kick some ass. Like, I'm going back to my roots here. I'm gonna powerbomb you, chokeslam you. So Mariko's like, you can't be a savage if you're gonna be my like, you have to, right? There's you know, you have to conduct yourselves. You're strong, but you must conduct yourself in a way that a lord should. So this is like his training weights. He removed the training weights there. That's a good point, Lurks McGee. The removal of destined death seems like a way for Marika to ensure the Erd Tree controlled the cycle of life. Yeah, yeah. And then you guys were commenting that it seems that the spirit you gave to her was the Lord of Stormvale originally, but an actual bird. And yeah, so they're not, the Lus and the Stormlords weren't related. They just happen to like Nefeli's aura and all that. What's going on, Meepo? Yeah, okay, so they're recycled. They're being reborn as, like, the same thing. Yeah, because the idea of reincarnation, trying to think back to, like, how my mom described it, because she's, like, Buddhist. But there's, like, certain levels of, like, reincarnation. Depending on how, and again, I'm just kind of generalizing, and I could be wrong, but depending on how one lives their life, with the idea of reincarnation, that kind of determines what they would be reincarnated into, right? So if, I feel like there was something about like 6 or 7 levels to it. Well, that's why, you know, people who kind of believe in that, they try to lead a good life so they don't, you know, it's like getting booted back to a previous level. Like, oh, you were a shitty human, so the next go around, now you're gonna be like a dog or something. You know what I mean? But I guess that here in the Erd Tree, it's like, oh, you come back as like the same thing. Or in the same vein, I guess, how some people might see reincarnation here is, you know, if you do really well in life, or, you know, you're a good person, then the next time you come around, it's like, okay, now you're going to have greater fortune in your next life as a human. Until you reach nirvana or the top or something, right? Sarosh is most likely a play on Sarosha, which is the Zoroastrian Yazata of conscience. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how it works in the Elden world, but Elden Ring world. But Meepo did say recycled, so it is an interesting thought. In the old days, a crown is warranted with strength. Ownership of Stormvale passed to Godfrey after he defeated the Storm Lord. That's how I think of it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I can see it being that way too. Okay. See? There's a lot of interesting thoughts, and I guess at the crux of it is like like it's not like 100% certain either, right? It's like it's a conversation starter, to be sure.
Godfrey and Marika had 3 demigod children together. There was Godwyn the Golden, who you saw being killed in the opening trailer, and there were also the reviled Omen twins, Morgoth, who guards the...
Okay, so that's the part that can like confuse me sometimes, because I'm like, right, okay, so these are Marika's and Godfrey's children. The Morgoth, the twins, the Omen twins, and Godwyn. And then Marika and Radagon's children were Mikola, Millennia, Radon, Ranni. Oh wait, no, but Ranni was the child of Rennala. Or was it Rennala was the first one? Okay, Rennala. Yeah, anyway. Oh yeah, there is that whole like naming convention thing too. Right. Yeah, the R's and then the M's. Yes. 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 Right. There is a strong naming convention thing going on here. Okay. Anyway, that was one aspect that like always confused me for quite a bit. And I guess even till up until this point, since we're discussing it. Of like who's child again? But like, you know, they all seem like brothers and sisters, and then they all okay, like step bro.
Godfrey and Marika had 3 demigod children together. There was Godwyn the Golden, who you saw being killed in the opening trailer, and there were also the reviled Omen twins, Morgoth, who guards the Erd Tree, and Mohg, who became Lord.
Mohg beat the allegations, by the way, at least, you know, that specific allegation that you're thinking of.
Lord of Blood. You might think that Godric was another demigod child, but he actually wasn't. Instead, he was probably descended from Godwyn. Anyway, we'll talk about the...
Yeah, and then you have other characters, yeah, like Godric. I'm like, okay, how does God, like, is Godric a demigod sibling as well? But there's, okay, so he's saying maybe a descending to Godwyn to Godric. Yeah, there's a lot of different, there's so many names, right?
Demigods more in detail in another video, so subscribe for that. But for now, just know that Godfrey and his offspring were the first demigods, henceforth known as the Golden Lineage.
The Golden
In
Lineage.
his wars, Godfrey led his 16 Crucible Knights into battle, who were named so for they fought with the primordial power.
This is, I'm pausing again, clearly, but that's another reason why I was kind of confused about the Crucible lore, because they were, like, shunned in a way, but clearly they were also... It seemed like they were very impactful in shaping the events of establishing the Golden Order. Because I don't remember if we learned specifically that, oh yeah, they were, like, helping Godfrey out, like they were part of his entourage, but I do remember, or had this general feeling of like, yeah, they felt kind of important to the Golden Order rule, establishing that at some point.
Powers of the Erd Tree. Their incantations were aspects of the Crucible itself, and they likely fought giants, dragons, the Stormlord, and more to usher in their age, the age of the Erd Tree.
In Marika's own words, hark, brave warriors. Hark, my lord Godfrey. We commend your deeds. Guidance hath delivered ye through each ordeal to the place ye stand. Put the giants to the sword and confine the flame atop the mount. Let a new epoch begin, an epoch glistening with life. brandish the Elden Ring for the age of the Erd Tree.
The Erd Tree would go on to be largely seen as a blessing for all of those in the lands between, especially those close to it in Lanedell, the capital city of the Erd Tree. The tree bestowed blessings. For example, the dew that dropped from its branches were like jewels. It loomed overhead as a constant reminder of order, and its roots reached far and wide, relieving many of the burden of death. In fact, Erd Tree burial was one of the highest honors a hero could receive. One by one, the previous factions of the world fell. The giants were put to the sword, and their fell god was killed by Marika herself. The ancient dragons broke down the walls of Lanedell, but met fierce retaliation. However, I think the House of the Erd Tree encountered the most trouble against the land to their southwest, Leonia. Here, the House of the Moon repelled their offensives time and time again. And I mean that literally, because there was not just one, but two wars fought here. And
They had that like whole arrow thing, the blue arrow thing coming down. What's going on, Graga? What's going on, Weebappa? Yeah, the Crucible. Okay, see, I already forget the specifics of it, but it is like the Crucible. People, or he was speculating that the Crucible is like the that like primordial golden order energy or something like that, right? The Crucible played a large role in the Hornsent culture, so it's yes, we were coming across a lot of Crucible stuff. So it seems after Marika betrayed them and began moving on, she started chipping away at anything close to it. Oh yeah, that was between Rhea Lucaria and the Carians. Oh, well, I don't suppose they use it in these wars as well.
both of these, there was no victory for the Golden, nor for the Moon. And I suspect it was probably because of these lobsters. These damn things can snipe you from like a mile away, and it's bullshit. Actually, it was probably because of the Carrier Knights, who, according to their weapons, were able to wield sorceress battle skills, and despite numbering fewer than 20, this power made them a match for even the champions of gold in battle. These enchanted knights were anointed by the Lunar Queen, a young astrologer who went on to establish the House of Kari.
Same image, same video. Is the exact same thing. You know what I'm saying? This is lore accurate. Lore accurate picture right here.
As royalty in this land, with her bewitching lute of gold in battle. These enchanted knights were anointed by the Lunar Queen, a young astrologer who went on to establish the House of Karia as royalty in this land. With her bewitching lunar magic, she won over the Academy of Raya Lucaria, where glintstone sorcery was studied, and united the Carian royal family and the learned scholars of Raya Lucaria defended their home from the golden aggressors.
We haven't gotten into it yet, but then we have the whole, you know, star things that I'm sure this seems like a good segue at some point. Maybe not. Yeah, there's like the also the whole just like the star that whole plot line too. That doesn't seem like it's going to be covered here. But Consort Radan went well. We were able to overcome him eventually. Mars attack.
At the head of this great golden army was Radagon.
Lord Radagon was a great champion, possessed of flowing red locks. He came to these lands at the head of a great golden host. When he met Lady Renala in battle,
These two champions clashed, fell in love, and joined their houses.
Wait, let's
Radagon
hear about
once
Radagon
claimed
again.
The golden aggressors. At the head of this great golden army was Radagon.
Lord Radagon was a great champion, possessed of flowing red locks. He came to these lands at the head of a great golden host. When he met Lady Renala in...
Okay, so Radagon just happened, or not happened, but... Because I don't remember if we would, like, learned... We had this conversation with, Dog Pope. But I don't think I like cemented it in my mind that Radagon was like, you know, a commander or whatever, a general, a leader of the Golden Army. And then that's how he came here. That's how he came to meet Renala. Radagon was, so he was... Okay.
Battle.
These two champions clashed, fell in love, and joined their houses.
Radagon once cleansed himself with celestial dew, repented his territorial aggressions, and swore his love to Renala. The Order of the Erdtree and the fate of the moon were...
So Radagon wasn't just... Yeah, he was like a hero. He was sent the... But, okay. I don't know. I feel like maybe during my playthrough I was thinking Radagon was like also some important demigod or something who... You know, which is how he was able to make the moves that he ended up making.
Joined, and all the wounds of war forgiven.
You might think it strange that the Greater Will would permit this union, but it's not too odd, all things considered. As with most From Software games, sorcery and faith are just two sides of the same coin, and both of these powers stem from the cosmos. Radagon and Renala were known to have 3 children together.
I know that. I know them. I'm gonna go back just a little bit, though.
And all the wounds of war forgiven.
You might think it strange that the Greater Will would permit this union, but it's not too odd, all things considered. As with most From Software...
And swore his love to Renala. The Order of the Erdtree and the fate of the moon were conjoined, and all the wounds of war forgiven.
You might think it...
Okay, and well, he's saying you might think it's strange that the Greater Will would permit that, but I suppose, you know, instead of conquering, right, you just ally in a sense, or at least, you know, become joined together through the marriage of prominent people, I suppose, and I guess that was okay for the Greater Will, right?
It's strange that the Greater Will would permit this union, but it's not too odd, all things considered. As with most From Software games, sorcery and faith are just two sides of the same coin, and both of these powers...
Maybe that was his plan. That was its plan all along. All just another piece of the puzzle.
...stem from the cosmos. Radagon and Renala were known to have 3 children together. Lunar Princess Rani, who inherited her mother's propensity for lunar magic, Radagon, who took after his father Radagon and would go on to master gravitational magic, and Rykard, who pioneered new hex sorceries and would go on to feed himself.
I forgot Rykard was
lunar magic together. Lunar Princess Rani, who inherited her mother's propensity for lunar magic, Radagon, who took after his father Radagon and would go on to master gravitational magic, and Rykard, who pioneered new hex sorceries and would go on to feed himself to a great serpent. It follows that...
I don't know why. I always kind of forget that Rykard was like, you know, like an important piece of the like, right? I guess maybe because he, you know, he went off to do his own thing at some point, but maybe if we had met Rykard in his human flesh, I would make the, or you know, his non like giant snake ass flesh, I would connect them more with being, you know, part of that sibling tree.
At some point after this, Marika began to harbor doubts.
Is this live? It's not live.
Doubts
Pre-recorded.
about the Golden Order that she had had a hand in creating.
In
Some point after this, Marika began to harbor doubts. Doubts about the Golden Order that she had had a hand in creating.
In Marika's own words, I declare mine intent to search the depths of the Golden Order through understanding of the proper way. Our faith, our grace is increased. Those blissful early days of blind belief are long past. My comrades, why must ye falter?
And it's at this point that we should talk about
Okay. Guys, we're going to take a quick intermission here because Twitch has just got banished. 3-minute intermission. Kind of like the movies, except they don't do it after an hour, and only for really long movies will they do it. I saw The Hateful Eight in theaters, and I remember they had an intermission scheduled, which is kind of nice, right? Because at the end of the movie, you're like, I gotta go piss. If only we had an intermission. 4-hour movie. Where's my intermission? Anyway, 3-minute intermission. Go chill out, and we'll come back and absorb more Elden Ring lore. What's going on, Sasha? But yeah, Frank, this is all pre-recorded, by the way. Okay, I'll go back to sleep. My question for you all, your bright question is, did you learn something new in the 17 minutes and 40 seconds that we have watched so far? Or have you, or maybe it's getting you to think about something? Let me know. Record being blonde always throws people for a curveball. Oh yeah, did they show? I guess we can kind of see it. Yeah, I just don't associate him with his human, like, you know, the human nature. I just see the giant snake face. Yeah, we're kind of winging it. Oh yeah, Neo is one of them challenging action RPG kind of games, huh? Or action games, right? I've heard of Neo. Yeah, well, I think, well, after this, we should definitely hop into at least one more lore video. Maybe a more recent one from this guy, because, and, you know, we'll find something. But then there's, like, some Carbot stuff that we can go through. There's, like, 10 hours of Carbot that, or something like that. I don't know. We tried to math it out. I don't remember, but we'll, we'll tackle that little by little, I think. Yeah, we'll take suggestions. But we do have a plan tonight, which is at least, you know, let's cover some good lore tonight. We'll have more of these as I continue to work on these videos. Twitch should be back. Welcome, Twitch. I mean, I think, you know, I think in general, as far as like priority right now, definitely want to get some lore stuff in. Okay, you're live. Yes, we are live, Frank. I think like lower on the list for like my priority. Like I'm down to what, like Carbot, like something creative, something, you know, something like that is great. You know, someone beating an Elden Ring boss on a freaking trumpet or something, right? Like stuff like that. I think probably lower on the list is like, oh, I played Elden Ring with this bleed build or something. Like, you know, I don't really need to see that. You know what I mean? So we're all AI generated. Yes, yes, we are. Victory! Yeah. Oh, maybe I might. Ooh, maybe I'll turn the alerts off. At least the sound. We'll see. Thank you, Frank, for gifting. Was that 10? Frank A just gifted 10 subs on the Twitch side. I'm pretty sure everyone on the Twitch side who's like actively watching or has been actively watching for a long time now is probably like subbed. So we are doing these Twitch banishments, but it probably doesn't affect anyone on the Twitch side here. I'll turn the sound off for the alerts. But thank you, Frank. I do appreciate your generosity there. I really do appreciate it. It's very kind of you. Welcome everyone on the Twitch side. Oh look, Alk got one. So the thing with the Twitch side, it probably works the same with the YouTube side, is it doesn't necessarily oh, thank H2O. Thank you for gifting a sub to Key Lime, because Key Lime was dodged. I don't thank you, H2O. I appreciate you. I was gonna say, I think it works on both sides. Like when you gift a subscription, or I heard the victory. Did you guys hear the victory? I don't think I muted the right thing. It doesn't necessarily prioritize people who are viewing right now. I think it's like anyone who has been viewing over the past whatever, and they don't have to be in the stream right now. They can still get one. So you heard it. Okay. I'll have to figure out which one of my... It might be this one. I'm going to assume maybe it's this one right here. I will mute that one right now. We'll do a test run. But I thank you guys. Yeah, we'll just turn the alerts off in case so we don't get interrupted. But I will be sure to acknowledge your generosity at a proper break point. There's another one. That's the test. I muted the right one. H2O, thank you for gifting a sub to Sam Komodo Dragon. I appreciate it. H2O has been a generous gifter over the years. I did mute it, yes. Okay. Very good. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, guys, let's keep it going, huh? Let's keep it going. Thank you guys for your generosity on both sides. On the red side and the purple side, and for just being here. You don't have to gift or do anything. Your time is your most... Thank you for giving me the honor of your most valuable resource of all, your time. There's the catch tagline. Okay.
Golden order, through understanding of the proper way, our faith.
I'm gonna start.
I declare mine intent.
Starting here at the beginning.
To search the depths of the golden order, through understanding of the proper way, our faith, our grace is increased. Those blissful early days of blind belief are long past. My comrades, why must ye falter?
And it's at this point that we should talk about Marika's motivations, her character.
Yes!
This is surely
Tell
going
me.
to be one of those huge points of debate in the coming years, but for now, my working theory is that she wanted to discover the truth behind order and the truth behind the greater will, and she believed that bonds had to be broken so that they could be better understood. She believed that there was great meaning to be found in hardship.
Queen Marika has high hopes for us, that we continue to struggle unto eternity.
For Lord Godfrey, his struggle ended at the end of his campaign.
Wait, while we're just on the topic of Marika here. So, okay. I get the general sense of why she started exploring the path that she went down. But it's kind of sounding like, at least right now, that it was, you know, it wasn't like one specific thing that was like, she was like, I need to question all of this right now. It was just kind of this culminating feeling. But I do, but that's the thing. Again, I kind of made the parallel to Final Fantasy XIV, but I do agree with Marika, right? Because I guess what we kind of surmised was like in her view, right? If we are living according to someone else's will, right? Where everything is, you know, kind of perfect and predestined, then maybe what kind of life is that? And I do agree with her that there is, you know, there's beauty in the struggle, right? Keep on struggling, right? You know what I mean? You got to keep walking. There's suffering exists. Suffering exists, and it's kind of like part of the world, you know? And I think it, right? it adds, you know, I think it makes life worth living if you're able to go through and overcome certain things. I can't accept it. We won't accept it.
There was great meaning to be found in hardship.
Queen Marika has
Yeah.
high hopes for us, that we continue to struggle unto eternity.
For Lord Godfrey, his struggle ended at the end of his campaigns. According to his armor, he led the war against the giants, faced the Storm Lord alone, and then there came a moment
There was no one
when
else.
his last worthy enemy fell. And it was then, as the story is told, that the hue of Lord Godfrey's eyes faded.
He was a
In
fighter,
truth,
a warrior.
He was robbed of his grace. Then Marika sent him away.
My lord, and thy warriors, I divest.
Faded. In truth, he was robbed of his grace. Then Marika sent him away.
He was robbed of his grace. I mean, I think that's just a way to say that, like someone didn't literally come in and like steal his grace. It was just, it faded away because there was no one else for him, right? There, like, as a true warrior, there was just no one there to rival him.
My lord, and thy warriors,
Or was it actually
I
literally
divest
robbed?
Each of thee.
Oh, it was literally just robbed. But did she just rob it because she was like, okay, this guy has like no more life in his eyes now that there's no worthy opponent for him. I'm gonna take his shit now.
Of thy grace, and thy warriors.
Okay, let's listen to this one.
He was robbed of his grace. Then Marika sent him away.
My lord, and thy warriors, I divest each of thee of thy grace. With thine eyes dimmed, ye will be driven from the lands between. Ye will wage war in a land afar, where ye will live and die.
This became known
By the way, has anyone ever thought about what those lands afar are? Where he came from originally? Those Doomans, and then where he went to? Like, what is that land like? You know what I mean? Did we ever, like, learn about that? I don't remember really learning about that.
as the Long March of the Tarnished, as Godfrey and his tarnished descendants walked away from the lands between. But Queen Marika absolutely had a plan here, that Lord Godfrey and his descendants would one day return stronger, having struggled outside of grace.
Then,
Struggle!
after thy death, I will give back what I once claimed, return to the lands between, wage war, and brandish the Elden Ring, grow strong in the face of death. Warriors of my lord, Lord Godfrey.
Soon after, she found a new husband. Either that or a new husband was found for her.
When Godfrey, first Elden Lord, was hounded from the lands between, Radagon left Renala to return to the Erdtree capital, becoming Queen Marika's second husband and king consort, taking the title of Second Elden Lord. The mystery endures to this day as to why Lord Radagon would cast Lady Renala aside, and moreover, why a mere champion would be chosen for the seat of Elden Lord.
Whatever the case, as a part of this union, Radagon's prior 3 children with Renala became demigod stepchildren, granted grace thanks to their new family tree. Renala was broken by this, and so was her country, Leonia. The Queen's set reads, when Renala, head of both the Academy of Raya Lucaria and the Carian royal family, lost her husband Radagon, her heart went along with him, and then those at the Academy realized that Renala was no champion after all. In the wake of Radagon's betrayal and Renala's poor judgment, Leonia struggled with civil war, with the Academy of Raya Lucaria on one side and the
Carians,
Carian royals on the other. And it's here, During the age of the Erd Tree, that Lunar Princess Rani, daughter of Renala and Radagon, stole a fragment of the Rune of Death.
It happened during the golden age of the Erd Tree, long before the shattering of the Elden Ring. Someone stole a fragment of the Rune of Death from Malekith, the Black Blade.
As mentioned previously, Malekith was Marika's shadow, and he had sealed destined death in.
Oh, we're just gonna pause here for a hot second. Let me just think about everything that's kind of been said. This part I understand for sure. Also, to address some of your guys' stuff, go play Sekiro. Is that the the Badlands or the? Oh yeah, we've heard of the Badlands or the Land of Reed sounds familiar, right? That's where like Yuri was from, right? That's where we came from. Yeah, it sounded like it wasn't more of like I'm casting like that. What she said was, yeah, go off to these distant lands, struggle, face true death, face death over there, and then come back stronger for it, right? On Schoolyard, if you don't like React, why did you click on a video that says React? I don't get it. These first videos are so funny. They're like seeing cavemen inventing fire. Oh yeah, right. You know, as the more people play, and I guess when the expansions and stuff come out, and as people talk, right, you start to think of different things. You start to, you know, your thoughts change. I think that's the beauty of it too, right? It's like when presented with new ideas or evidence, then you know, re-examine your initial stances and, you know, expound upon that. Now, it would be kind of interesting if, I was just thinking from a canon perspective, if these other lands were like the other FromSoft games. Go to these games and struggle in those games and come back. Yeah, I think it's reasonable to flip-flop between ideas or, you know, or specifically this lore interpretations, depending on, you know, what you're presented with. Evidence, thoughts, ideas, right? It's like, it's almost like, that's how we, like, learn and grow, right? Which, you know, is a credit maybe to this story, right? Again, maybe one of the beauties of this story like this is how it's presented and or not presented, leaving a lot of it to the imagination or interpretation. So, how did the Chartists come to the land betwixt? That's a great question. How did we? Well, it feels like we kind of just like poofed in for somewhere, right? We were called back by grace. But I guess what were we before being called back? I suppose, right? We were just tarnished, just perpetually tarnished, as far as, you know, Golden Order established. Just some random generic dude, John Tarnished. Just went on static hammer. Yeah. Yeah, we were beckoned back, for sure. We're called the prodigy of the wanton strumpet by the Hornset Grand. Yeah. I took that more as of like, you're tarnished, and under Golden Order rule and Marika's rule, tarnished are children of Marika in a sense, as she is the god, right? As you know, as people who follow their religions are children of their, like, perhaps, you know, children of their god, right? The narrator of the opening scene said the tarnished are those who are dead who yet live. Does that make us technically living in death? That was kind of like one of the things I was talking about earlier, where it's like, in a way, you know, living in death was eternal living. But what kind of living is that? But ironically, introducing the concept of death and removing destined death or living in death, you bring back death, but in a way that's also eternal, because as far as how things work here in the Lands Between with the Erd Tree, when someone physically dies, they are recycled back through the Erd Tree. So that's also eternal, right? It's kind of, I guess it depends on how you look at it, right? I'm getting full right now, I'm not gonna lie. I should probably hold off on more of this popcorn. What's going on, what's going on, EWL? Damn, this topic is bringing, wow. Now, this one's a hit. This is the hit question, huh? I thought I was gonna stop eating popcorn. But the grace of gold and brass, once its golden luster is gone, is tarnished. Oh yeah, I mean, I can see that for sure. Yeah, yeah. One does not simply stop eating popcorn. Yes, because as someone puts it, EWL, as that one person liked to put it, I'm trying my best to not steal other people's videos when I react to them, meaning I'm not gonna just sit here and like let it play through, and maybe I'll throw out some oohs and ahs and talk over it. I like to pause it and we have discussions about what we learn. But we will resume it in a very hot second. Okay, let's go. Yeah, like, oh, that's crazy. Whoa, whoa. I mean, it depends, right? If there's some low effort stuff, like if I'm watching a movie trailer or something, I'm not gonna put in like you know, if I'm watching like a new Marvel movie thing, I don't give a shit. Like I'll say my oohs and ahs, but for something like this, I'll dive deeper into it, right? So
in a black blade, then a fragment, only a fragment of this.
Let's start back here. Knight of the Black Knives.
Someone stole a fragment of the rune of death from Malekith, the Black Blade.
As mentioned previously, Malekith was Marika's shadow, and he had sealed destined death in a black blade. Then a fragment, only a fragment, of this rune of death was stolen. And once this happened, Malekith went a step further in protecting destined death. He bound the blade within his own flesh, such that none might rob death ever again. It was too late, however. This fragment of the rune of death was used immediately, that night, to kill a demigod.
Godwyn not so golden.
Godwyn the Golden.
That was the first recorded death of a demigod in all history, and it became the catalyst. Soon, the Elden Ring was smashed, and thus sprang forth the war known as the Shattering.
Now, there is a lot of really credible evidence that Marika was behind this plot to have a fragment of the Rune of Death stolen. There's also a ton of evidence that Marika is behind the entirety of your Tarnished quest, but we'll talk about that in another video. For now, all you really need to know, in terms of the timeline at least, is this. After the marriage of Marika and Radagon, and after a fragment of the Rune of Death was stolen, Marika went on to shatter the Elden Ring, and Radagon attempted to repair it.
Ooh,
To no avail. The Elden Ring had been broken into runes, some great and some small.
You know, it's said that Lord Radagon harbored a secret. A famed sculptor of the Erdtree capital was once summoned to render Lord Radagon's likeness in giant stature. When he glimpsed
Okay, this is something that we did not do during our playthrough. Now, I was told that there was like a secret thing that we could do with the statue. I was told how to do it, but I figured for the playthrough, I was like, I was never going to figure that out on my own. We'll skip it and we'll leave it up to the imagination, which I think was a nice payoff, because when we actually got to the Radagon fight at the end, I was like confused for a hot second. I was like, okay, there's Marika, she just fell. Wait a minute, that's Radagon. Am I crazy? Was that not Marika? And then we watched it again and we're like, ah, they must be like the same person. So
the skeleton in Radagon's closet.
yeah, the skeleton was like, Radagon, I'm sculpting you. You have such bountiful bosoms. What is
And
this?
as such, it's said the great statue harbors his secret too.
Of course, the huge twist in Elden Ring is that Radagon is Marika, or depending on what you believe, he became her, for she knew it was going to happen.
In Marika's own words.
This was a law of regression.
It was going to happen.
You could argue that this was the law of regression in effect, going back to its... Yeah, okay.
In Marika's own words, O Radagon, leal hound of the Golden Order, thou art yet to become me. Thou art yet to become a god. Let us be shattered, both. Mine other self.
You can tell when From Software is keeping something a little bit open-ended, and of everything in Elden Ring's lore, this will also go on to be one of the biggest unknowns as we move forward. For example, the wording, thou art yet to become me, reinforces that Marika and Radagon were two separate entities before the shattering. However, in contrast, there is also evidence that Radagon was always part of Marika. For example, Enya says that
The demigods are each and all the direct offspring of Queen Marika.
but how can this be if Radagon married Renala and had those demigod children? The only way that makes sense is if Radagon was always Marika and he just went over there to seduce Renala long ago. I'll present more concrete theories in the future, but on this matter, the most important thing is, what do you think? While you can figure out
Maybe that's something I would have thought about more, or, you know, really paid attention to if I wasn't so confused about, like, who was whose child again? These guys were siblings, and then there were these guys' childs, but then, like, that's the step, you know what I mean? I guess, yeah. So Marika technically got it on with Renala, one could say. And Marika left Renala for Marika. So she was like, I don't need you, Renala. All I need is myself.
a ton of Elden Ring's story. Not all of it is open to interpretation. Certain things are, and this is one of them. And your interpretation is a big part of what makes this story special. At any rate, the union of Radagon and Marika seems to be a union of two fundamental opposing laws of the Golden Order. We mentioned these laws earlier, actually. There's the law of causality, and Marika is an agent of cause and effect. And there's the law of regression, as Radagon is a character who aspires to be complete and regress together. So I have a theory that forcing these two beings that represent these concepts together would have corrected Marika's deviance. But even so, she was imprisoned in the Erdtree for the crime of the shattering.
Marika's trespass demanded a heavy sentence. But even in shackles, she remains a god and the vision's vessel.
The conjoined Radagon and Marika even had two demigod children of their own,
My favorites!
and Millennia. These two children were born afflicted. Mikola was cursed with eternal childhood, and Millennia...
Were they born
harbored-
afflicted because it was technically inbreeding? Is that why they were afflicted? Like, no joke.
A horrific rot within. Even so, these two children were both chosen as Empyreans. They were immensely sacred beings and eligible to inherit godhood from the Greater Will. Perhaps the Greater Will was just desperate to find a worthy
Well,
successor.
hold on, I'm gonna listen to that again.
A horrific rot with eternal childhood, and millennia harbored a horrific rot with demigod children of their own, Mikola and Millennia. These two children were born afflicted. Mikola was cursed with eternal childhood, and Millennia harbored a horrific rot within. Even so, these two children were both chosen as Empyreans. They were immensely...
Mikola was blessed, or Mikola was cursed with eternal childhood. Did we learn that? Was there, obviously there was something. Okay, we must have read something about that. I kind of just forgot about that. I guess childhood in the I mean, okay, the physical body. Okay, hold on. No, I suppose. Okay, the Mikola is permanently a twink. I was gonna say the Mikola that we see. I'll show this. At the end of. Because, okay, throughout Shadow, the Erdtree, Mikola sheds parts of himself. I leave my flesh here, blah, blah, blah. So is the Mikola that we see at the end of the game, when he's up on Radagon's back, that is not the physical representation of who Mikola was before shedding himself. I will assume, right? Because that physical interpretation was not necessarily childlike in my eyes. The voice, I suppose, would have been more childlike because it definitely was lacking, you know, that bass and the tones, the deep tones. Mikola is constantly young and androgynous. He's also just large. Okay, so that was the physical, like, representation. Because my thought was maybe, you know, as Mikola shed the physical and also non-physical parts of himself, and how we see him is how he was always kind of maybe supposed to be when not afflicted by that eternal, not youth, that's the wrong word, but you know what I mean? Okay, I'm gonna read some of these comments here. It implies his godly strength would stagnate, even though apparently he can easily enchant the other demigods if he wants. Mikola is constantly young and androgynous. He's also just large because he's a god. He shed Saint Trina from himself. What's going on, everyone who just popped in? He's transformed to god, right? Because he's transformed to godhood, but seems pretty similar in general appearance. Yeah, the body in Mohg's palace also looked quite large, right? That was a lanky-ass arm, too, so... That's a good point. Okay, that's a good point. But I guess, okay, so him, yeah. I mean, the act of, like, shedding himself and ascending, in some ways, probably removed him of that curse, right? He may have grown in the cocoon. Okay. What's going on, Isaac? Right, we see him in the trailers, and it looks okay. Yeah, okay, all right. You know, interesting. It was just a thought. Yeah, you see him small in his memory. Yeah, okay. I'll have to go back and look at that again. Okay, okay, all right. Interesting.
Were born afflicted. Mikola was cursed with eternal childhood, and millennia harbored a horrific rot within. Even so, these two children were both chosen as Empyreans. They were immensely sacred beings and eligible to inherit godhood from the Greater Will. Perhaps the Greater Will was just desperate to find a worthy successor and eligible to inherit godhood from the Greater Will. Perhaps the Greater Will was just desperate to find a worthy successor, and indeed in the Shattering War to come, many would try to claim the shards of the Elden Ring, and they would try to take the throne, including, of course, the Tarnished, who returned from their long march at long last, which we'll talk about in the next main lore video. I should probably also mention here that if you become a patron, you'll see upcoming lore videos early, as that's one of the rewards you get if you pledge to the $3 tier. And if you think my channel really adds a lot of value to the Souls games for you to the point where you pledge $20, then in this new tier you'll receive a new mug every 3 months that has
look at those
a
mugs.
unique design on it, to do with the games by From Software. There are 4 to collect. The first one you'll get is a design on it.
I think I like this one the most. I mean, this one's nice too. I like this one, chilling by the campfire.
To do with the games by From Software. There are 4 to collect. The first one you'll get is inspired by Dark Souls, then Elden Ring, then Sekiro, and finally Bloodborne. And they all have fantastic art that I worked on with an amazing artist named Chu.
Oh, that's cool.
But anyway, I figured this is the right place to end this video because the information here is going to be overwhelming. I bet it probably was too overwhelming, you know? It took me ages to commit these names and the relationships they had with other characters to memory, so...
Yeah, no, like I said, we saw his freaking whiteboard of information and crossing the lines. Yeah, it's definitely confusing. You know, I just went through this and there's parts that I'm gonna forget, but I think this was a really good like baseline level of opinions to get a gist of. It was really helpful for me, so.
I hope you guys are doing all right. One thing that helped me a lot was that we designed an enormous mind map with pretty much all of Elden Ring's lore, all of its item descriptions, all of its dialogues, all of the relationships between characters that we can think of. We added all of this together and it helped a ton in learning about the story and visualizing it all. And one day I will make this asset available to you all because I think after doing it, I think this is the quintessential
maybe that thing is
way
actually
to
out
piece
now.
together the story, and I think giving you guys this asset eventually will make that accessible for people. So I'm really excited about that. I want to thank Absa and Zard for accepting the paid task of helping me put all the raw data into this mind map so that I could better understand everything. I want to thank Paragod for fulfilling all of my footage requests and creating so many cinematic scenes for this video and for you all to enjoy.
Yeah,
and I
it's good B-roll here.
to thank John Devlin for the incredible thumbnail. And of course, thank you for watching. There are some really exciting things ahead, and I actually believe this might be the best story that From Software have ever put together. I just think not only are there so many amazing item descriptions, but so many of them are impactful. There are so many moments where you piece together the story and have like a eureka moment, and I'm enjoying it so much. But now I'm gonna go and play the game a little bit because I've been editing this video for too long. So, see you next time.
All right. That was insightful. I feel like I learned and remembered and relearned quite a bit there, huh? Now, how quickly after the game came out, so April 8th, 2022, when did Elden Ring come out? February 25th, okay. So he pumped this thing out a month and some change after, a month and a couple weeks, month and a half after. Seems like a lot. Damn. Damn. Yeah, there was a lot of people. He was giving a shout out to a lot of people there, so. That's 6 months? No, February to April? Well, February 25th? Assuming that's when it came out, right? Yeah, February 25th to April 8th? Month and a half, month and like 2 weeks. What's next? That's a great question. Okay, well, first of all, yeah, you know, this was cool. I think yeah, well delivered and like I said, insightful. Helps me to remember things. So very good. I'm sure you guys have already seen this. So, but the question is, yes, what is next? Now, like we said, we could totally go into. We could make this a lore night and we can go into another lore video, maybe a more recent one. Some of the corrections, or we take a break from the lore, go into perhaps some other stuff. Demigods. He didn't really talk about the stars. Cosmic Sorcerers is here. Mikola Millennia. Yeah. Or we take a break. We could do a lore video again next time. Yeah, maybe if we hop into one about the DLC, just to kind of cover the beginning and then like the end. That might be kind of good. I never watched this one on Zach Childs. His Prepare to Cry videos are pretty good. I never watched Adventure Time. What do I want to do? I'm kind of indifferent. I know the lore can be kind of heavy, right? It could be as far as an audience member, it could be kind of like tough. That's why I was just gauging the feeling here. But I wouldn't mind another lore one while we're still on the topic. TBH. A dark Tark. A dark Tark video. So there is the whole Carbot animation thing that I do want to get through at some point. There's a million of them though. We could do it as a quick little palate cleanser. We could watch a handful of them in the beginning. I did enjoy some of the few that I did watch yesterday or a couple days ago or yesterday. Yeah, I'm not gonna watch the whole Carbot series in one go. We would definitely break it up into multiple things. Okay, other people were saying Dark Tark, Elden Ring lore. Let me look up Dark Tark. Oh, there's this Prepare to Cry thing here too. This just popped up on my feed right here. Someone mentioned Prepare to Cry. Dark Tark, Elden Ring lore. Elden Ring lore as oh, this one looks to be more like meme-y, perhaps, or more comedy based. Someone keeps saying prawn run. Prawn run. Prawn run. Elden Ring. I don't know which one it is here. There was no specific prawn run thing. We're just kind of queuing some stuff here. The Mikola video by the YouTuber called Consecrated Snowfield. Is that a lore video? Consecrated. Consecrated Snowfield. Is that a creator? Because look, if I'm searching consecrated snowfield, I'm just gonna get everything you missed in the consecrated snowfield. Videos talking about the actual like level. What's going on, Hannah? All right, I have an idea. So here's what we're gonna do. Well, I maybe what time is it? Well, I think we'll have some time to perhaps get into another lore video. We'll do a little palette cleanser right now. The Carbot videos is something that I did want to make headway in. So maybe we'll watch a little bit, like a handful of these. They're short. We'll just go through a handful, and then we can think about. Someone did request from a long time ago to look up the. Yeah, they had the name Consecrated Snowfield. It's not popping up in my search. There was what was that? Yeah, Malisari had requested this from a long time ago. This duality millennia thing. Okay, so it's this. She's using the dance. Okay, this one's quick. All right, here's the plan. We're gonna do one quick intermission, and then we're going. No, I wasn't waiting for you to turn up for the Carbots, but we just finished the lore video. Here's the plan. We're gonna do some Carbot because Carbot was something that I decided I wanted to do since yesterday. We'll do that, and we'll do this Luality Millennia dance pad thing, and then we'll reconvene and talk about perhaps one more lore video to end the night, because these should be pretty short. These Carbot ones. So we're gonna do an intermission. We're gonna come back. Yeah, I've what's going on to Halo Freak? I've seen the Carbot stuff before for other games. Someone had their pet fish beat Millennium. Oh my lord. Okay. We're gonna do that. Quick intermission. Everyone go stretch. Go drink some water. Go brush your teeth. Whatever you gotta do. We'll come back in a couple minutes. Bye-bye. The fish is a better player than I ever could. All right, couple minutes would be our beat. Yeah, I've seen Carbot videos in the past. Not on this channel, but on the other channel. I definitely like some of the StarCraft and like I get presumably like Warcraft ones. I do remember one that they had for Final Fantasy 14 when I was playing that. The WoW Exodus into Final Fantasy 14. It's been a while though. Oh, they had like Heroes of the Storm too, right? Hey, there's Final Fantasy 14. Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, Wildcraft. Definitely watched this way back. Yeah, Heroes of the Storm. I used to be into Heroes of the Storm. I probably saw some of the Overwatch ones at some point, but it's been a long time, you know? Yeah, we're not touching any Expedition 33 stuff right now. Don't you worry. Here, so let me just put this on my watch list so it's in my history. We're just taking another 30 minutes or so here. Hope everyone's doing well. Like I said, we'll have a bunch of these nights to pass the time while I work on the final Elden Ring videos. Oh, I still care about spoilers, whether it's a video game, a story-heavy video game, or like a movie or a TV show that I want to watch or play. Yeah, I'm definitely going to try to avoid. Now, I think when it comes to that, people need to take some, you know, accountability for themselves. The internet is a place where all sorts of information and thoughts and opinions can be presented to you. So, how I handled it is like my Elden Ring playthrough, I did not search or consume Elden Ring stuff because I didn't want my algorithms to start giving me Elden Ring stuff while I was in the middle of my Elden Ring playthrough. So Nicholas' story is not what you think. Yeah, when I searched consecrated snowfield, all I get was, you know, here's a guide to the consecrated snowfields and stuff like that. Let me throw it on a... Oh, consecrated lore field. Well, did I just keep... That's what his name is. Consecrated lore field. That's why it didn't pop up. Was I reading your chats wrong? I probably was. I'd be like that. Okay, I put it on my watch list. I'll just keep it on a tab here, but we're probably not going to get into it. Well, yeah, this is a long one, so we're not going to get into it tonight. Okay, Twitch is back. This is Carbot. We already watched episode 1 the other day. This was basically a compilation of playing Elden Ring for the first time and getting completely obliterated. So you didn't miss that. That's all episode 1. Just dying in many various ways, including gravity. Gravity specifically. But here we go. We're going to episode 2. The goal is to finish this entire playlist over a period of time. There's a lot of them. This should be pretty funny and a nice palate cleanser. And mark it is easy. Let's see. Beep beep. These are always so funny. Let's go to market. Also, I just want to point out. Oh, he has hair. I lied. Sometimes he's bald, but it looked like he had hair here. I just want to say that this, you know, I actually am extra interested. Yeah, I accidentally muted it. I'm extra interested in the series because I envisioned myself to be this guy. Because we look like we could be siblings. So. This is me. I'm a spam roller. That's what I do, baby. Gravity wins every time. There's our boy right there. So this is a little bit backwards, right? Because it looked like he went, you know, he got stuck here. I did all of this before heading to Stormvale, so I didn't go to Stormvale right away. We explored all of, like, Limgrave, first. And I don't remember if we came down here. We might have come down here to the Weeping Peninsula first as well before heading up there. I don't quite remember. Maybe we did. What's going on, Parky Rifle? Oh, that's the shackles. We never used that. The jellyfish! Yo! I remember when the jellyfish and we stormed Stormvale with the jellyfish. Oh, that was a great time. So did the shackles just like temporarily bind him for a small amount of time or something? Is that how that works? Yeah, that was my thing. We did Peninsula after Stormville. Yeah, I'm the kind of guy who's like, okay, the main boss is here in this zone, so let me go explore everything and save the main boss for last. Because I'm always someone who's like, I just want to see everything first. In case I get locked out of it too, let me experience as much as possible before, you know, closing out the area. So it's a 10-second thing. Okay, that's pretty good, huh? This one is staying on target. Stay on target. Porkins, pull up. Stay on target. That's like me, dude. I'm a stealth master for sure. That's also, yes. I struggle with this quite a bit, don't I? Yeah, that was me. I still do that to this day, for sure. 100%. Someone said hot take. Lock on is a crutch for controller players. No, I need the lock on. You guys saw it. When we couldn't target the dragon's ankles, I was lost and confused and I couldn't do anything. I had to go to Big Bonk, you know. We did end up using Market Shackles quite a bit in the catacombs. Also, the funniest thing with using Market Shackles is those like locked spirit springs where like apparently it's a whole thing. You're supposed to go find a secret thing and break it to unlock the spirit spring, but every time I came across one, I just used Market Shackles and that worked, so. We can see the progression. Also, I'm trying to think of a nice special thanks screen that I can use. I'm doing something like this, except theirs is definitely a lot more colorful. But thank you to everyone for watching and supporting. One day we can evolve to a colorful thing instead of just a black rectangle on the side or something. No, I need the target lock for sure. I 100% need it. It's gonna play soon. There's merch! Oh, I don't have merch. But this guy has merch. Who knows if it's still in stock. This one's called Fastest Leveling Ever. I'm not gonna lie. The first time I killed like some of these guys out in the open world, I felt kind of bad because they just seemed like normal dudes. And I was like, am I just like ruining normal people's livelihoods right now? Except maybe the torch guys. Those guys hurt me. Oh, these guys. Yeah, I remember. Yep. I got my ass kicked the first time I went in that catacomb, or one of these catacombs. They were on the walls. I had to leave. And then we had the fire traps. Perfect. Oh, the secret treasures. We found our first main weapon in the back of one of these caravans. Not a moving one. It was in that camp right outside of Stormvale. Oh, okay. We either got it from a chest or it was from one of the main dudes. But it was the Lord's Sworn Greatsword or something. That was our main weapon for a bit, or in the early game. Oh, it's in the chest. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's in the chest. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, that brings back memories. This brings back memories, man. What's going on, Heavy Hydrogen? You never seen this channel before? What to expect? Okay. Unfortunately for you, I just beat Elden Ring the entire base game in the DLC as of yesterday. So we're just watching Elden Ring YouTube videos right now. We just finished a lore video, but now we're just watching carbot animations for a little bit. What's going on, D-Link? Yeah, that weapon was good. I like that weapon. Yeah. The videos are on the channel if you want to catch up, but for now, we're just checking about a bunch of YouTube videos. I like the trumpet guy. Just summoning all the mobs. How's the volume, guys? Is it good? Too loud? Too soft? Fastest leveling ever still. He's going all the way to Caelid. That's a far trek. Oh, this guy. That tickles. It's a good scratch. How many of you beat this big-ass dragon in its intended way? Or how many of you just sat there and, like, poked at it for a million years? We did it legit, like, 90% of the way. We defeated all the little dragons, and then I ran out of resources, so I was like, I'm just gonna poke the remainder 10% of this guy's health or something. Yeah, I think we were invulnerable while opening a chest. Maybe, right? Iframes, perhaps? Yeah, they got all the merch. We'll pay homage to the... By the way, so typically my style, again, you guys are kind of learning my style of reaction, right? Where I'll pause the video and talk about relevant things. But I will also let their, you know, organic ads and stuff play out as respect to them, even though this is really old, right? But, you know, if someone has like a sponsored section, I will watch the sponsored section out of respect for their video because I'm watching their video, right? So we just use this time to chill. Was it 1,000,000 runes? I don't remember how many runes it was. No worries, Frank. You do your thing. This one's Stormvale Castle. It was 80k. That's huge back in the day. Oh look, it's our friend, the Grinch.
Have fun storming the castle.
Think it'll work?
It would take a miracle. Bye-bye.
Storming Stormvale Castle was quite the adventure. Those birds definitely were troublesome. So, canonically, I think these are his friends, right? His friends in the game who he brings in, because we saw him in a later video, so. I kind of remember this. There was like that hole in the wall, yeah, with the item. It was fun. Again, Stormvale was one of the first, like big castle zone that I went through, right? Everyone's, right? But like for me, that's like the epitome of like Elden Ring level design. Because Stormvale felt so large and so difficult, but in hindsight, it's not super large. But again, part of it's the elevation or like how they designed vertically. But it felt like a behemoth of a maze to go through because of the challenge, and I always like going through their castles and stuff, huh? Was I spooked when I encountered Godwyn? I didn't know that was Godwyn. So no. I didn't know what that was.
Surprise, mother.
Yo! Yeah, this dude kicked my ass the first time the door closed. I remember that.
Surprise, mother.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and these guys, oh, the birds, man. They're blowing me up. We got blown up quite a bit in Stormvale. Dude, I always love breaking their stuff. I always love breaking the tables. They're so perfectly set. No joke. I actually hid. I know this thing. I hid in this thing. There was a moment in Stormvale where we got kind of stuck, and in order to progress, you know, I would have to go a roundabout way. So instead, I used the Mimic's Veil in order to make my way through that courtyard full of all the soldiers. And I eventually turtled myself in here and took everyone out one by one in this little wooden building here. Yeah, it is relatable, huh? The birds, man. The jars? Was that the jars? I think that was the jars. Did you know that the dude that opens the gate follows you around Stormvale? I heard about that. I never noticed him, but yeah. And apparently he steals your runes too. Right. I just let him live. The Mimic Veil is... No, they will definitely notice you in the Mimic Veil. But they don't notice me because I'm super stealthy. Yeah, we use it all the time, and it never backfired on us once. Okay, Godric is easy. Let's go.
Lend me thy strength, Oaken, a lowly tarnished. I command.
Dude, Godric was really freaking agile, man. That guy was spinning around and jumping around all over the place, huh? I like the target lock there. And then he just chops off his arm and shit. I'm like, what's going on?
Truest of dragon.
Yeah, and then he puts a dragon on his arm. He was in the coffin. He's paddling a coffin. Oh look, it's Marika. Yeah, I never use that stuff. So that is somewhat relatable because there have been a few times where the poison from our jellyfish has saved my ass. But Godric was actually the moment in Elden Ring where I decided that I would forego like summoning on bosses, because we did some Godric tries. We were using our jellyfish, and then we also summoned Rogier. And when I summoned Rogier, I realized, first of all, Rogier was so tanky. And I was like, okay, the fights are really different with the summons. So I think this was when I decided, like, okay, let me try to beat these bosses without summoning. Now, clearly we did summon for some cinematic reasons. Oh, Nefeli. Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, like Egon and Dane. We did summon them for the bosses, for the cinematic nature. Oh, and the horn scent, kind of, right? Is it a true great rune? I mean, I don't know if it's a true great rune, but it's a great rune, and we can use it, right? So. She's dead. Okay, Castle Morn. Oh, guys, this is an S tier moment. If I had to rank Elden Ring moments, the she's dead, okay moment is like an S tier moment for me. This was also... I did like the storyline, too. I really did like the storyline here. I did like the battles going on in Castle Morn. Yeah. And then he's gonna attack you. Yeah. Okay. What was that guy's name? Was it Bernal? Wait, no, Bernal was the other guy. Bernard? He was a good guy, man. Was his name Bernard? Oh, Edgar. His name was Edgar. That's what his name was. Yeah, Bernard. You remember Bernard? I think that was one of my elementary school friends. I like that character, man. I liked his character arc, and you know, he had to. He stayed behind. He decided to stay behind, and then came to find that she's dead. Okay. A little bit of parkour, huh? And the jellyfish, the children. We had some trouble with this boss, I remember. She's dead, okay. Did you guys kill? Wait, who did that? Who killed Edgar to take his stuff right there? That's effed up. I only got it when he attacked me. What's going on, Giga Beef? Yeah, Edgar went insane after the grief of losing his daughter. That was before my favorite boss fight. Who's my favorite boss fight? This is Swamped. Oh, we're in Liurnia. We'll do like a couple more. We'll do a couple more here, guys. Just a couple more. Oh yeah, we saw the yeah. I did like the Liurnia area quite a bit. I like the water and all that. Is he gonna show the creepy lady who ended up being a snake lady? Yes. Oh, those guys are the worst. Those guys are the worst throughout the whole game. That screeching noise sounds so familiar. I don't know if it's the actual in-game noise, but it's making me trying to think about some other piece of media. Is it the Eagles? I was thinking Lord of the Ring Eagles or something. Or the Wraiths. The Wraiths, maybe, yeah.
Wow, guys, what a great episode!
I think he meant dog over here, right? Oh, the dragon. It was the dragon.
Guys, what a great episode.
I remember that dragon.
Please, your best friend. You can get 20% off all our merchandise by clicking the
Raya.
link below.
It was like Raya. Yeah.
Spring22. Is that good?
Yeah, those revenants were so nasty.
Oh, and it lasts to the end of the month. What month is it? June.
The revenants were so nasty. Oh, in freaking the Halic tree? Oh my god. Those things kicked my ass. Okay, let's go through episode 10, Rhea Lucario Academy. This is number 9 right here. We definitely got hugged a couple times. Yeah, there's like 6 revenants down there. I forgot what the names of those guys are. Those purple power wielding guys, yeah. We did get slapped around a little bit by knowledge. Knowledge did kick our ass. Quite a bit. Oh, look at the mask. Look at the head. Ah, yes. Yes. We never got teleported. I remember being on the roofs. We did not get clapped by this. Or did we? I don't think we did. Maybe once. Did you guys skip the fight? Wait, is that... Can you do that? Did you guys skip the fight that way? We tried to fight that guy. Eventually, we beat him.
It's me, it's your best friend.
Yeah,
You
Duel
can
of the
get
Fates.
20% off all our merchandise by clicking the link below and using the code SPRING22.
Yo, the Alabaster Lords, that's right,
Is that
yeah.
good?
It lasts to the end of the month.
Oh, and it lasts to the end of the month. What month is it? June.
We did not big brain that fight. That's for sure. Yeah, the Burger King. Oh, I remember the Burger King crown. It was so good. Okay, Renala is easy. This is number 10 here. Renala was an interesting one. These remind me of like little Meteons or something. What summit is that? He's getting hit with knowledge. What's going on, Diesel? What's going on? Oh, there's Frank on the YouTube side. It took us a run to figure out what the gimmick was here. And then we get lasered, yes. I like the banana looking hoodie there. Yeah, the summons were kind of tough. They were kind of annoying for sure. You never send the elevator back down. Never. Oh, you got the pizza cutter? You got the pizza cutter already?
Can I do your makeup? You're changing name? Respect or something?
I do remember when we beat, or when we were doing the Renala fight, or Renala, and Randy came down, and I was like, wait a minute. Your mom? That's mom's right there? Oh, that was an Inquisitor. Yeah, you never send the elevator down, baby. Okay. All right, we'll put the Carbot on pause here. We're 10 episodes through. 10 out of 100. That's decent progress. Or maybe we should do like 5 more. We'll pause it there. We're gonna pause it there. We'll come back. We'll come back. We'll come back. We'll come back. Boo. Wait, there's a lot we gotta get through. We'll get through it eventually for sure. Yeah, I do like the Carbot ones for sure. Randy prefers killing via sleep. The Erdtree also had inquisitions, yeah. We did try the pizza cutter was an interesting weapon for sure. Okay, let us go. This one should be a quick one here. This one was requested for quite a while. Okay, so this duality beat Millennia on a dance pad. Which I'm not surprised that someone has done that. I feel like I've seen like videos out there. But people like beating games or bosses on like using like a banana or a dance pad or an instrument or something. You know? Now, let's see. I wonder how many attempts this took.
Combo.
Well, this is obviously the clear, but I wonder how many attempts it took.
Combo. Don't worry. I'm doing really bad.
I did DDR when I was a kid back in the day.
Because of the time.
Okay? So
Like
this
my body hurts
this
so
is in the
crazy.
realm of possibility for one such as myself. Wait, she just went so ham. She looks like she's dressed as Millennia. Is she using like Millennia weapons? Oh, is that like that's like a blood sword or something?
Because of the
That did so
time.
much.
Like
Damn,
my
that's
body
strong.
hurts like crazy.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna replay that and watch her right foot. Yeah, she's like... He's tapping that thing. How are you gonna do waterfowl? Just running. Okay. Yeah. Which one's her roll button? Oh, I guess you have the... Okay.
Yes.
Yo! She got the
Very
stagger
needed
in.
stagger.
Wait, hold on. I want to watch this dodge. Wait, hold on. Let me check this dodge again. Okay. All right.
Yes. Very needed stagger.
Very needed stagger,
whoa.
yes.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, that sort of goes hard, huh? Impressive,
Stagger,
impressive,
oh
impressive.
God.
Now's the time to take a little break, a little breather. What's going on, Soli? She did dodge waterfowl on the dance pad.
Some tries she uses the water flow attack 50 times, other times she uses 0. And this time she uses only once. But we got lucky, so that's good.
Yeah, she dodged the first one.
Oh yeah, Nate, she has 2 phases.
She
I'm
outran the
sorry.
first 2 drops.
I'm sorry you had to find out like
and then
this.
dodged the last one. Which, by the way, you know, I guess, you know, you learn through your Elden Ring playthrough with certain bosses that you could definitely, like, outrun things Whether it's completely, you know, going the opposite way or just kind of like quickly shifting one way to, or the other.
Earlier this week, we killed this boss with a level 1 character.
Oh, we got time to do our lips and stuff? Okay.
It was really good.
She's buffing up. She's buffing up for the fight.
The scarlet bloom flowers once more.
Advance, united, will never be defeated. Split, beneath, and make the building sits.
Yeah! What she said.
You will witness
Yeah, IRL buffs.
horror.
I haven't seen the Goldfish beat Radagon. Someone said that.
Now, rot.
There is a subreddit. Souls Summon Sign subreddit. You can probably get people to help you with the card there.
Okay, so she just runs, eats that. Okay, she ate that. Maybe accidentally there.
Hurrah.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. Oh boy. Go, just outrun it. Just outrun it. Just outrun it. Yeah, you can completely outrun this one. See, I thought that was waterfowl for a second. That always confused the shit out of me. I'm watching her having to like cross her legs to do. Like, I gotta sprint now. Let me. It's like what's that one game where you put your hands on the colors? Dude, that she killed that.
Oh my god!
The mark of a true.
We fucking did it! Oh my god! High five!
Boom!
Dear
Oh my god!
Oh, dearest Mikola, my brother.
I'm you.
Hold on, let's go rewatch the end of that again. Because that health went from, yeah, that health went from something to nothing real quick, huh? Right around here. We dodge, 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 dodge. Just run. I always get kicked by that thing too, huh? That's fat damage. Look at that damage. Boom.
Your strength.
I can't believe it!
Extraordinary.
Oh my god!
The mark of a true.
We fucking did it!
Damn. Okay, well, you guys are saying Rivers of Blood is, you know, really strong. I still think it's impressive. I think it's very impressive. Do it on one of the... And these dance pads can be very janky at times as well. I do remember them being janky and like moving underneath your feet if you don't have it secured in place. They definitely did that when I was DDRing for sure, you know?
Oh my god! High five!
Well, she has another one. Did she use the same? So she's using a. Oh, this is what is this? Oh, this is Dark Souls 3. Is this like an OP weapon? I was just curious if she was using the same similar weapon. It's still really, really good.
Combo. Don't worry.
Millennia Millennia Goldfish. Goldfish beats Millennia? Is this the one?
Oh, 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 oh.
Is this it?
Oh, 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 oh. The bleed, the waterfowl. Hit her again. Hit her again. Please, please. Tortellini, go back to an L. Tortellini, Tortellini, this is your chance to go to second phase. This is your chance. The dodge, the dodge. Tortellini, please, please. Oh! Dear Lord.
Okay, so there's the goldfish. Okay, this is just a clip. I'm sure there's another video. That's the goldfish. The goldfish is swimming. It's being tracked and swimming over inputs that a program will input depending on the location of the goldfish. So it does look like, okay, you got L's and R's, ZR's, lefts, A, X.
Oh my God.
How does it heal?
Tortellini,
Let's see.
hit her again. Hit her again. The bleed, the waterfowl.
Healed over that.
The bleed, oh, 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 oh. The bleed, the waterfowl.
I think there might be a delay between what it's on and what it's doing on the screen, because maybe the ZR is like the heal or something. Okay, where's the full vid? Well, how long is the full vid? Oh, it's this one. Oh, it's this one. Yeah, okay. I've heard of Point Crow before.
This is my goldfish.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm kind of curious about this one. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I'm kind of curious about this one. Let's see. 18 minutes, so we could totally do this.
Playing Elden Ring, and well, he's quite good at it, actually. The plan is, I'm going to pit him against harder and harder enemies until he's trained enough to beat one of the hardest bosses of any Soulsborne game. Millennia, Blade of Mikola. Nice! This dagger. Come on, you got this. Let's go! The flex of just drinking all of the flasks. Dodge the dodge! Oh my God! One more hit! Please! No! Tortellini!
Tortellini.
It sounds crazy that this is even real, but what's even crazier is the story on how we got here. Now, there's a couple famous feats that Goldfish have completed over the years. Thanks to
I have seen, yeah, like Goldfish buy stocks and stuff, and yeah.
We know that a goldfish gives better investment advice than 14.1 million people collectively. And thanks to Muta Kamaru, we know that a goldfish can actually also commit credit card fraud. But that just got me curious. If I also had a mechanism to do these things, how good would my goldfish be at video games? By the way, his name is Tortellini. He was $6 for the pet store, and I love him more than life. So,
Tortellini!
in order to answer this question,
Rest in peace, Tortellini.
I contacted a buddy of mine at Sign, who is an absolute genius programmer. After some trials and tribulations, we figured out how to get my goldfish to control Elden Ring. Tortellini swims in his tank, right? So if we could figure out a way to digitally track him while he swims in the water, that could be a way to have him switch up the controls for a video game. Like, if we set up a grid, he can press a button depending on which box he's in. At Sign got right on it and said it would take him a...
This is way beyond my knowledge of like programming and engineering, but I'm sure there has to be some big thought that goes into the button layouts over here, right? Like, you have to consider if the goldfish is in this area, and perhaps the goldfish has tendencies. Perhaps the goldfish is, when in one corner, likes to stay in a particular pattern in that corner. Anyway, you want the right buttons near each other in order to have the most success, I suppose. Unless he just randomly chose these. Who knows?
To get back to me with a build. Dude, he over-engineered the hell out of this. The way you normally track a goldfish in its tank is by identifying the orange color of the goldfish and by telling a computer, hey, that's a goldfish. Super simple, but you get my drift. Now,
super simple.
There's two orange colors in the tank, like the goldfish and the rocks. Normally, you just change out the rocks to a different color so you don't get the program confused. But AtSign took that as a challenge, and rather than message me to change out the rocks, he individually took every frame from the sample video I sent him and trained a machine learning algorithm to identify Tortellini in any instance ever. So now I am the...
So there's just small parallels as an editor, right? I do use tracking techniques for certain scenes or things that I do want to edit. And yeah, depending on the composition of the scene, it could definitely affect how well the tracker performs, right? When you're telling the tracker to look for a certain, in this case, a color or a certain plane of motion, Yeah, there's a lot of trial and error that goes into that from my experience.
Algorithm to identify tortellini in any instance ever. So now I am the sole owner of an extremely powerful program that is famously used by the military industrial complex for reasons. And I'm going to see if my Goldfish can play video games with it. I booted up my Twitch stream
what?
machine learning algorithm to identify tortellini in any instance ever. So now I am the sole owner of an extremely powerful program that is famously used by the military industrial complex for reasons.
Yo, that's secret tech. Okay. What's going on, Joe? This is the Elden Ring movie. This is in theaters right now.
I booted up my Twitch stream the next day with bright hopes in order to see if tortellini had what it takes to beat the hardest boss in video gaming. Subscribe, by the way, if you don't want to miss one of my streams or if you just like the videos that I put out. The goal is simple. Start with a base character and see if my Goldfish can beat the first enemy of the game before moving on to harder and harder bosses. Let's start the program. Let me open up PyCharm, guys. No. Let me show you how great my coding expertise is. Okay, watch this, watch this. So this happened about 3 months ago, and it was way worse than my computer just crashing. By the gods who reign in the banquets of Valhalla, they must have angrily looked down upon the mortal who dare attempt to cross into the divine world, for my machine was totally obliterated. I mean, look at this. Some sort of error happened that shorted my graphics
Who's
card
the sponsor?
and capability to do graphics. I mean, hell, I couldn't even
Who was
watch
sponsoring
YouTube videos
you?
anymore. It seemed like despite all the work that we put into this, it was all for naught. We'd have to pack it up and throw it in the trash, just like that other video where I skydived with a saxophone. Yeah, that was a weird one. But then I got a message from Micro Center. We can help you build a fish-proof computer, they said.
I've heard good things about these micro centers.
How could I say no?
Actually, like truthfully,
I
right?
called my friend Adam and we headed towards
Supposedly, micro centers are great places for your computing needs. Like a fair place, right? Am I thinking of like a micro center like that, right? I hear stories of these places. I don't know if I have one of these near me.
Store. For those who don't know, Micro Center is a computer retail store that houses pretty much every single electronic device you can ever ask for. So to have them sponsor this project literally saved this video. I mean, they have it all. From beautiful TVs.
Are they hit by the RAM prices right now too? I'm assuming so.
Hey Adam.
Yeah.
Road work ahead. Yeah. I sure hope it does.
A great maker section.
I have a Rode.
3D print me a girlfriend.
Here's my story. This is a Rode microphone. This is a Rode K2 that I got in college when I had dreams of being a rapper slash music mix engineer slash producer. And I still use this Rode K2 to this day. This is it. It's been through hell and back, but it's still alive somehow. This thing is like 10 plus years old.
But above
more
all
than
else,
12 years old.
Legendary basketball champion, part-time DJ Diesel Shaquille O'Neal. He's so happy. Okay, so we needed something that was powerful enough to run a neural network while running Elden Ring
map
rap and streaming on Twitch while several thousand confidently confused people yell into the void. So I asked
cereal
one of Micro Center's
box
employees to get me the best
microphone
they had. And oh, did they deliver. They have an online PC builder tool that they plugged all of my wanted specs into and saved me a ton of money with their selection and prices. And if I wanted to, they could build the computer for me.
How many of you guys know how to build your own
because they
computer?
had the absolute largest collection of PC parts I've ever seen in my
I
life.
could probably do
Here's
it,
the
but I've
specs
never
if you guys
done
wanna
it.
See the homemade nuclear reactor.
I don't trust
just had
myself.
One question to ask.
Is this fish proof? What?
It was perfect. Now armed with the best machine to track a goddamn goldfish, we are back in business. Ow! Oh! Thank you to Micro Center for helping my boy Tortellini live up to his dream.
Thank you, Micro Center.
$25 off your next store purchase of $100 with the link in the description below.
Can I still
And
use
thus,
it? It's probably
July
expired.
2nd would be known as the day a goldfish could partake in the brutal environment that was known as the lands between. My goldfish can play Elden Ring. So I'm gonna load up the goldfish code, which is a wild statement. You can see that Tortellini is now moving left. Right? Oh, we got some A's. We got to do an actual boss. I feel like we need to do Margit. What level are you normally at for Margit? 25? Okay. Yeah, we're doing a bleed build here, but like a very prelim one. All right, here we go. All right. Tortellini get this first try.
ZR.
Oh, go. Okay, that's some good damage, but also on me. Okay.
Moving laterally right now.
Okay, this isn't going well. Tortellini, you got this, please. Tortellini, please. Tortellini. That's actually some decent damage, though.
That was pretty good.
Oh my God. Wait, that was...
That fish might have did better on its first try than me. I don't know. I don't remember. The fish might have did better than me.
That was... that was kind of better than I thought. I think it's possible. I think it's possible, but it's gonna be hard.
Chat, I have to pee, so I will be right
Well,
back.
you're gonna miss Tortellini beating Margit in Elden Ring. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. It's fine. Just ZRs. ZRs. Just keep hitting it. Keep hitting it. Nice. Keep wailing. That's great. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. Okay,
Yeah,
come on,
Fish is
Tortellini.
chilling in the corner. Just ZRs.
This act- oh, the bleed. Wait, Tortellini, stay there. Oh,
He got
you
the stagger
blow.
hit in and everything.
Oh, okay. Whoa. No! Are you kidding? He's at 1 HP. Tortellini, you got this. Tortellini.
So I think Tortellini's sleeping right now. Yo, that was a great second attempt though, huh? I think that I don't remember how long it took me to beat Market. It wasn't as difficult as maybe other people because again, I explored a lot before, but I don't think I did that well on my second attempt. Just spamming. Okay, so the ZR is just spamming the attacks there, huh? Okay. Let's just attack. Yeah, that's a sliver of health right there. If only you had a jellyfish.
Are you kidding?
If only your goldfish had a jellyfish.
Tortellini, you got this.
Yeah, Tortellini's either
Tortellini.
Tortellini's sleeping right now.
Tortellini? Tortellini? Tortellini!
He's going to sue for being overworked.
Here we go. That's okay. He's going to come up soon.
Okay, ZRs.
Keep up with the ZRs. Nice. Nice. Good damage. Good
Staying
damage,
on the ZRs.
Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up.
So, okay, so I don't know if this randomizes every time because last time ZR was like in this corner, right? So, oh, I think maybe he just shifted it because Tortellini. Okay, anyway. Like just mirrored it the other way?
We need to hit. Oh, we're in a blender. We're in a blender. He's in a blender. We're both in blenders. We knocked him.
By the way, that's my classic like Elden Ring POV when I'm fighting a big boss. Like I can't see shit.
Okay. We need to hit. Oh, we're in a blender. We're in a blender. He's in a blender. We're both in blenders. We knocked him. That was great damage.
Big damage.
Ooh,
Big damage.
Oh, this could be it.
Wait, is the L, is that heavy attacks? That looks like heavy attacks, right?
He's going to come up soon. We knocked him. That was great damage. Ooh,
Yeah, those are big bonkers, right? Oh, that's the skill. That's the skill. Right. Okay, that's the skill. Okay, yeah. Big booms. He was using mana.
That's our fish. Yes.
Is this a Persona song?
That's
Or is that something else?
That's Tortellini.
Margit the Fellowman became Margit the Fell.
Dude, Tortellini, I think, did better than me.
The fish, not the shell.
Maybe.
Now the great
Probably.
Tortellini, the battle complete. Convinced his master Eric to show Twitch chat his feet.
No, wait, what? So the program works. Tortellini vanquished the first enemy in the game, but a small victory does not mean the battle is won. Sun Tzu, Art of War, or something like that.
No, to be clear, Sun Tzu said, when your opponent is giving birth, that is the time to attack. I remember I taught you guys that when we were fighting County Mirror.
Against an even harder enemy to prove that he has what it takes to beat Millennia. It's time for Godric the Grafted. According to Steam, only 67% of all players have beaten him. So,
you know, I speaking of that, again, I'm pausing again. I was kind of curious about, or it was interesting to see me playing the game as late as I did in some of the completion rates for some of the bosses. I have to go back and refresh myself on that, but yeah. When you look at like completion rates for games, a lot of times you'll see like, oh, like start the game or like do this like really like obviously this isn't like do this basic thing, but some games have like do this really basic task in the beginning of the game, and it's like how many people bought that game and like never actually played it because it's never anywhere near like 100% or 90% or even like 80%, right? Sometimes.
I kitted Tortellini out with all the typical armor and
Yeah.
weapons you'd find beforehand. Holy shit, he looks sick, dude. Oh my god.
Go poop, Sam.
Let him loose on this man's.
Lowly tarnished. Okay, obviously we're seeing the cuts, so I don't know how many attempts it did take Tortellini, but I like to think, you know, Tortellini did it in a very reasonable amount of attempts. Market, that is. Attack the enemy while pooping is a strategy your sister cat sees.
Give him L, Tortellini.
Okay.
Or just keep using all of your...
Yeah, using the special.
Okay. Nice. Nice. Oh, we're taking damage, dude. But we're taking it like good. Tortellini, you got to attack. Nice. Whoa, huge. Huge. Okay, we got to bleed. We got to bleed. Wait, do we get the second phase?
Tortellini's going ham.
Second phase. Okay, second phase, second phase, second phase. Yeah, we just got new armor, so...
Tortellini's going up. Tortellini's back down in the corner. The corners are the sweet
really
spots here.
He figures out he got beat by a fish. Oh, God. Hurry. We can't... Oh, we really can't dodge this part. Oh, we're still alive, though. Okay. Okay, come on, Tortellini. The dodge. The dodge.
Tortellini just dodged that.
No, I was like, wait for it. I've never met a single goldfish that could do more than this one. Damn, that's fine. You got this, though. The dodge.
The jumps.
Dude, the jump dodges are insane.
Tortellini was jumping to dodge attacks in this game before I ever tried like jumping to dodge attacks.
It's actually ridiculous. Come on, you got this. All right, you got one hit left. Like, if we could just do more damage. Dude, this is so difficult. No.
Lowly tarnished.
Why was your first try the best yet? I have no idea. I think I want to.
I mean, maybe this is like also the what is that one thing that they say where, you know, put a monkey on a typewriter and eventually it'll write like, you know, an epic odyssey of some sort. This is like that, I suppose, in maybe a more controlled way, but
the flex of just drinking all of the flasks.
Okay, so X is okay. That's my square.
Okay, ready? Tortellini's got this. Let's go, Tortellini. Please beat him. You just need to get out of the starting area.
Yeah, that's my square button.
Stuck in a blender too often, you know? Yeah, like that right there. Okay, here we go. Nice. Good damage, dude. Tortellini, you can heal right now. That'd be sick. Nice, good heals. Good heals.
Yeah, he went over the X.
Good heals and damage. Good dodge. Okay, come on, do another like CR here. Back in stagger. No. Nice! The stagger, plus the heals! And the bleed! Oh, this could be huge. This could actually be huge.
The combo.
Oh, he's gonna take damage there. That's fine. That damage.
Winnable.
That's a boy. Okay. Oh, no.
Hold on, Jax. That is very true, huh?
I need you to heal.
That is very true.
I need you to heal. Please. Swim over to the X. He was on the X.
It was on the X.
Yes. The full heal.
Yeah, I wonder what the input lag is like for this.
Okay, this could be it.
If the program's trying to account for every single thing it goes over, then we'll go in that order or a certain cutoff time for the input.
Good start. Good, huge damage, actually. Good heal. Oh my god, goated heal, actually. Okay, you can't heal anymore.
Just complete. Just dodge that.
He's almost dead. One more hit. He's staggered. One more hit, Tortellini. Tortellini, please stop healing. You don't have any heals. Let's go.
Yeah. He was queuing up a bunch of heals there, that's for sure.
Yes. Oh my god. The amount of suspense of Godfrey just staggered right there while Tortellini's chugging absolutely God knows what.
The great fish has
Tortellini might be a better Elden Ring player than I am, TBH. I'm not gonna lie.
triumphed, the grafted now fell. Versus Fire and Dragon, Tortellini not needing nerd spells.
Nerd
Once
spells.
again called out of Eric, calling him a cheat. For once more it was promised he must show his feet.
That's not, So yes, we've proved it. After a couple hours, a Goldfish can beat Elden Ring bosses. But can he beat the first phase of the hardest boss, Melania, Blade of Mikola? She's one of the most difficult enemies in any video game, meant to test the true skill of players that would cross her path. You see, when she hits you, she regains some of her health. Not only that, but if you get her health low enough, she'll perform an attack that's almost impossible to dodge and does enough damage to kill you all of the time.
Oh,
With
yeah.
That being said, Can Tortellini, my Goldfish, stand up against the first phase of Millennia?
I often think if I were to go fight Millennia right now, could I beat Millennia? How many tries would it take me? Yeah, it would be impressive. It looks like they're not doing. Maybe they are. I don't know. If Tortellini could beat phase 2, that would be sick.
I am Millennia, Blade of Mikola.
Yeah, depending on where the fish is chilling at. Yeah, Tortellini is abusing bleed. Doesn't count.
Okay, Millennia's keeping the distance. Millennia's keeping the distance of the lifesteal.
Oh, he's got the bull goat armor.
The heals.
Animal style.
Heals. Okay. Oh, this is gonna be so hard. Okay, the bleed is huge. The bleed was huge.
Blade of Mikola.
This might be a little bit harder than I thought. Oh god. Oh dear god. Okay. Nice. Oh, the combo and the heal. That's huge. That's huge. Come on, keep hitting him. Keep hitting him.
Oh,
got. Lord. He's learning. Don't stop running out of stamina though. Stop running out of stamina. Oh my god. Here we go. I need you to hit. I need you to hit. She does so much damage. Great special. Great specials.
You should have him two-hand blasphemous blade.
That's actually not a bad idea. God, it's disgusting. Tortellini, you got
the
this.
blasphemous
you got a new blade in front of you.
Yeah, maybe you could do it, Kai.
Oh! Yeah, we heal with this. Yo, and we knocked. Oh, waterfowl. Oh god. Oh dear god. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, waterfowl
Okay,
is,
you know what? At least
gonna
we
be a
got to the
challenge
first
here, huh?
Waterfowl dance, though. All right, I think we just keep trying on attempts here. Spamming L, interesting strategy here. All right, you can stop jumping. I know you're happy. Stop.
I know we're saying it in jest, but are we really gonna fault Tortellini, a goldfish, for using an OP weapon right now?
Jumping. Nice, huge, and that heals too. That's perfect. And moving left. Interesting choice. Okay, Tortellini.
Spam heals, baby. Spam heals.
He was thirsty. My bad. I feel like there's too many ZRs. Tortellini, get out of the corner. Oh, waterfowl. Love the waterfowl dance, dude. Waterfowl. All right, we gotta heal during waterfowl.
Oh, waterfowl.
Stam recovery here. Green turtle shield. All right, stop going up. Tortellini, you
yes!
gotta use
Animal style. Let's go.
something here. All right, you gotta attack more. No, he's back on the up. Oh god, dear god. He's halfway. Millennia's halfway. Waterfowl, don't die to waterfowl. Don't die to waterfowl. Don't die to waterfowl. Don't die to waterfowl. What if we change our build up? Go like full attack build. Oh dear god, look at that.
Oh my gosh.
Giant hammer. Let's see if you can do something with it.
Big bonk time, baby.
Oh, that might do a lot of
Big
damage.
bonk time, baby. Let's
That
go.
does not. I mean, that does like some damage, but it's not as much as I want it to. Oh, wow, it knocks though. Definitely knocks. I don't know. What else can we try here?
Too slow.
Right, so this does a
for Tortellini, I
percentage.
think.
It does a low percentage. Jesus. Yeah, I don't know about that. Maybe we do bleed build, like dual katanas. Oh god. Ouch. What if I two-hand us?
The irony that the fish is dying to waterfowl.
Ari waterfowl. Nice. Oh, he almost lived through it. Wait, we might have a good build here. Oh my dear god. The twin blade like did better. Yeah. And the blasphemous blade was also really good. Dual wielded katanas. And that's death. It was getting rough.
Blade
no amount of build,
of Mikola.
combinations or strategies were working. A fish controller is cool, don't get me wrong, but everything has its limits. I'll be honest, guys. I was giving up here. I was afraid that my expectations.
Wait, do we know what level Tortellini is?
That I put too much pressure on my goldfish.
Something's wrong. Yeah, the thing that's wrong is it's a goldfish.
The vision of what my goldfish could have been.
It's a goldfish trying to beat Millennia.
What he already has done. For what is he but just a little fish in this large world, trying his best when everyone expects so much of him? It was late, and I had to finish up my stream. But that glimmer of hope did still remain.
That's how I feel.
And I decided to have him try one more time.
One more
Maybe
time.
It's copium, but I think we can. Yeah, like
Yeah, it's a goldfish trying to trying to beat Millennia right now.
And the knock. Oh, the bleed.
Oh, that was huge. That's how Luality did it like that too, right? You got to knock her out of.
Oh, the bleed through. Oh. please. Ooh, the waterfowl. Hit her again. Hit her again. Please, please. Tortellini, go back to an L. Tortellini, Tortellini, this is your chance to go to second phase. This is your chance. The dodge, Tortellini, please, please. Oh,
Tortellini.
Dear Lord.
Wait, can we go back and look at that dodge again? That was a sick dodge. Was that dodge was right around here?
Chance to go to second phase.
Right here.
The dodge, Tortellini, please, please. Oh my God! Dear Lord! Oh my God! Oh my God!
Yeah, I think the fish is better than me too, Hannah. Don't worry.
Not only can my goldfish play Elden Ring, but he's probably better than you at the game.
He's probably better than me, yeah.
Thanks for watching. And thanks to Micro Center for sponsoring this video. They're opening up a new store in Charlotte, and if you sign up in the description, you can receive a free 120 gig flash drive like I did when I went to the store to get my RTX 4090, i9 13900K, and Fractal Torrent Black.
Can a baby in a blender beat Zelda? Oh my god. That was good, man. Tortellini. I wish I could do stuff like that. I don't have the ingenuity to do something like that. But these are, like, if you're trying to make videos and you have the skill to do something, you got to do something unique like that, you know? That was a good fish. Yeah, I wonder how many attempts that was. The goldfish beat Radagon too. Okay, we'll watch the goldfish beat Radagon as well. I'm gonna do one last bathroom break and we'll watch the goldfish beat Radagon. But that was good. That was Point Crow. I taught my goldfish to play Elden Ring, and Tortellini is a better Elden Ring player than all of us here. What's going on, Tutor? Yeah, welcome in everyone. We're just since we finished our Elden Ring playthrough, we're just checking out a bunch of YouTube videos here. All right, everyone, take a quick 3 minutes here. We'll do we'll do one last video since we're on the topic of goldfish here. And that was going to be one of my questions. Can this goldfish beat Radagon as well? So, probably better than me. Well, we'll check this out. Give me a hot second here. Be honest. This is your break question. Is Tortellini better than you at Elden Ring? All right, 3 minutes. We'll come back. Don't lie. Don't lie to yourself. Be truthful. Sigh, Tortellini is better than me at everything. He's so much better than me. Fly? Small fly. I think I don't know. I got one of those like electric tennis rackets, the electric bug zappers. That actually works out pretty well. I don't have it in here though. I play mage and use mimic tier. He's so fabulous. Absolutely not, and you know it. I will not admit a freshwater fish is better than me. All right, we got 30 more seconds, and then we'll get it. The last one of the day, guys. With more of these days to come, more lore videos, a lot more Carbot that we're gonna have to get through, and more videos like this. Yeah, this was great. This was good. I like videos like this. You love to play Night Rain with Tortellini? I'm 48. I don't care what people think about me anymore. Yeah, and do you think Tortellini cares either? Learn from Malisari and Tortellini. Tortellini is just living life, you know. Tortellini fell asleep mid-boss. He's not a real trooper. Or maybe Tortellini is doing what the kids call as aura farming. You know? Yeah, apparently someone said rest in peace Tortellini, so rest in peace Tortellini. Okay, Twitch is back. Let's do this. Noel, for the editor, Noel. 2 videos. Separate these out into 2 reactions. Quantity. This is the can my go. So Noel sees my claps in the audio waves. This is can my Goldfish beat Elden Ring's hardest boss, Point Crow. We saw him beat Millennia, Margit, Godfrey or Godric. Now we're gonna see Dawn.
This is my Goldfish Tortellini, and I want him to do the impossible. I want to see if he can beat one of the hardest video game bosses of all time, Promised Consort Radagon. He's a boss in Elden Ring's new DLC that sparked waves of outrage among gamers everywhere for being unfair.
By the way, that's a nice little like editing tip right there. These quick cuts, but your eyes are focused right here, and every cut has the word hard here from the whatever source he's using, right? Keeps your eyes tracked in one place. Same thing if you're like doing a video where you're like talking to the camera. Keep your eye level kind of like in the same level, or you know, same elevation, same area between your cuts. It's a nice little, you know, consistency thing that you can do to make it flow if you want. But there's also something to be said about having things, you know, creatively placed wherever you want as well. So
he's a boss in Elden Ring's new DLC that sparked waves of outrage among gamers everywhere for being unfair and too hard. But I want to see if my Goldfish can take a crack at it. All right, let's address the Goldfish.
I haven't talked about the editing of these videos quite a lot, but I do love this technique right here. A little bit of masking, a little bit of rotoscope, or you know, screening out of the Goldfish to get the Goldfish to come out of here. It's a nice scene right here. I like doing stuff like that. I haven't done stuff like that in a while.
All right, let's address the Goldfish in the room. The elephant. Why did I just say that? How the hell is this little guy I got for $6 at the pet store going to play a video game? Well, listen up, because it all starts with credit card fraud. I was perusing the internet one day.
Twitch or YouTube, whatever you want.
On a couple clips of this streamer, Mutakamaru, who had an incredibly insane idea, having his Goldfish control the game of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. He wanted to see if the random actions of a Goldfish would be able to complete any amount of the game. The Pokemon game crashed while Mutakamaru was sleeping, which then navigated the Goldfish away from the game and onto the Switch home screen. It then proceeded to go into the Nintendo eShop, buy a bunch of games, and leak his credit card info to an entire public audience. And I thought that was hilarious. So I messaged my friend @sign, and we got to work creating a program so I could do the exact same. Probably a good time to mention here that Michael Reeves also had a Goldfish controller, and his little guy chose to invest in the stock market.
That's so funny.
I don't know why there's such a big
just bought a bunch of games on
creators, pets, and financial institutions. But all I know is that later I would actually give Tortellini my bank info, and he almost bought a $60,000 Hummer. 2012 AM General Turbo Diesel 4-speed Hummer. No, what the dude? He's got expensive taste. So @sign and I took inspiration from both these ideas, and he came up with a genius solution. You see, Tortellini
We saw this in the
swims
other
his
video.
tank, right? So if we had a way of tracking his location in the tank, then based on where he is in the tank, we can
Soldier
assign
of
that to a button
God.
pressed on the controller. We set a grid over his tank so that whenever he swims into a square, whatever button that square represents, he presses. With some absolute skill and water filled with nitrous oxide, my God, Tortellini took on some of the most infamously hard bosses in one of modern gaming's hardest games, Elden Ring. He swam through Margit, waved goodbye to Godfrey,
Yeah, we just witnessed
and
this.
even made Malenia, Blade of Mikola, take a dive. I let Tortellini coast on the fame it got him, quickly rising him to the feet of the world's most famous goldfish. I mean, like, actually, I think he's actually probably one of the most famous goldfish in the world. That's great. That's my goldfish right there. But then everything changed on June 21st.
When Shadow of the Erd Tree came out. Oh, announced perhaps. Oh!
Promised consort Radagon, the final boss of the new Elden Ring DLC, Shatter the Erd Tree, appeared. He's incredibly quick. He has a huge health bar. Each one of his attacks does half of your health bar. His combos last 3 to 5 business days before you can get hit. His hitboxes are also just huge. So even if you dodge, you'll still probably actually just get hit anyways. Oh, and that's just the first phase. His second phase has an entirely separate reason for being difficult. His second phase is even faster. Each one of his attacks does all of your health bar. 2 grab attacks is just an instant lose. His combos might
Yeah,
as
we had
well
our heart
never
stolen
end.
once.
And he has 2 attacks that
It felt
screen-wipe
good.
you. Not only that, but Mikola's light attacks just invoke visual diarrhea all over your screen, and you just gotta deal with it. So knowing all that, I want to see if my Goldfish can beat From Software's hardest boss of all time. And my God, he has that determination in
Predictions.
his eyes.
Can he do it?
Let's see what he can do.
Do you think the Goldfish
Let's do it.
did
All
it?
right, first try, and we're done. Come on, Tortellini. Okay. Okay. A lot of damage. He is not.
Phase 1, but not phase 2, maybe? There's no way, dude.
He did, I think, a total of 200 damage. Yeah, okay, probably a good idea to give him some actually good armor.
No, but Tortellini's better than me, so.
Side note, though, if you like my videos on this channel, please subscribe. And if you don't do it for me, do it for him. In the arms of... I also stream on twitch.tv/boypro Monday through Thursday at 1 p.m. Pacific time.
I don't know.
And if you want to see cool stuff like this live, check it out. So clearly this isn't working. What's the best shield we can grab? Fingerprint stun shield.
Oh.
We'll just see how
He's gonna
far
go
he can get
poke.
before we min-max any
Poke
farther,
build
right?
with the shield.
Okay, you can heal too.
I heard you guys were doing that, right?
That was better than I thought, though. First things first, I give Tortellini the most defensive armor in the game, the Vertigus set. Now, this will ensure that if he gets hit, he won't just instantly die. So that's like a good start. He gets the Blood Fiend's arm as well, since it does a ton of damage and inflicts bleed on Radagon.
Okay. All right.
Okay! Yo, that was a good hit! Okay! Actually possible. So we got our Goldfish kitted out. A couple nifty talismans of more stamina, light resistance, attack up, and
We like the
poise up,
turtle.
and we're cooking. Come on, you
We
can
like-
heal now.
yeah.
Heal.
Mhm.
Heal. Oh. Dude. Okay, that was the farthest he's gotten. All right, you can heal again.
Big bo.
Broken stance. All right, you got to heal.
He staggered Radon. I hardly staggered Radon.
Okay, so some of you astute viewers may recognize with the length of these bars that Tortellini is max level. And let me just speak to some of you here. When Tortellini attempted Malenia, he was around level 250. And the amount of gatekeeping that I saw mentioning the
Dude. I'm telling you, man. People will complain about everything. Your Goldfish beat Millennia? Yeah, or your Goldfish was overpowered. Yeah, the fish isn't affected by visual diarrhea. Overpowered. Oh, man. Dude, I can't believe... Because I know we were saying it in jest, but I can't believe people seriously... Okay, I mean... some of these are probably a joke. I mean, this one's definitely a joke. But there's for sure some serious comments in there. Like, no, your Goldfish was overpowered, man. That wasn't real. Your goldfish was way over leveled.
The only reason he was able to beat her first phase.
Wait, hold on. I have to read this. This is cool and all, but over leveling for the bosses undermines the. Wait, this has to be satire. Undermines the integrity of the challenge as it boils. This has to be satire, right?
Able to beat.
It didn't feel up to the standard of your other videos. The content was mediocre. The fish only had access to some of the controls. The controls were weighted to specific. Okay, this is a real comment. You said that the build cheated in items and heavily cheated in levels. You walked in and logged on to the boss. Was the goldfish even able to see the monitor to have? So this feels like a real comment, and then this also, but then this makes it feel like satire. You know what I mean? It's so hard to tell sometimes. In the end of the day, you got a fish to be a glorified random number generator with weights. Okay, maybe it's not satire. But a comment like this has to be satire. Was the goldfish even able to see the monitor to have some sort of feedback or input? That has to be a joke, right? It has to be, but it doesn't. I don't think it is.
Her first phase was because he had OP weapons and was over leveled.
Your goldfish beat Radagon post nerf. It doesn't count. There is no goldfish.
He's a goldfish! Obviously he's over leveled. Watching paint dry for 10 hours would be more entertaining than seeing a goldfish lose 1,000 times to a boss. And I've watched paint dry for 10 hours! Get your Cheeto crusted grubby fingers out of your. Anyways, in other news, he may be a high level, but also consider the fact that Tortellini is.
Did you actually? Why didn't you give the fish an actual controller? You should have gave the fish a controller.
Doing a challenge run here. He's not using.
Have it hold it in its hands.
Unable to roll dodge at all. That first part is because it's complicated, and that second part is because attempting to program it in made me consider abusing Xanax. Okay, we healed. He's healing. He's healing. He's healing. He's crazy with the heals. He's crazy with the heals. You do not need to heal anymore. You're good. Okay, nice. Nice!
That's big damage,
heals.
though.
Okay, nice. Okay, great. The hits. The endure. Okay, nice. You buffed. He's buffed. Okay, awesome. He's got that. All right, heal. Come on. Heal, please, Tortellini. Heal. Yes! Big heals.
Oh, is he using Millennia's Great Rune right now? That's what that is, right? On the health bar?
Come on, more hits. Second phase!
Wow.
Second phase! There's
17 attempts, by the way.
Oh
17 attempts to get to second phase there.
my god! Oh, that's my goldfish! There's no way! Alright, he got the second phase. Everyone was saying when this game came out that the second phase is like bull. Like it's awful. Like it's unfair. So let's see how Tortellini does with second phase here. He's got the endurance. You gotta heal. Tortellini, you gotta heal.
Oh boy, yeah.
He endured it. He didn't insta die. Oh no,
He survived that big boom.
Oh no. You're doing great though. You're doing great. Oh. Hey, less than half health is crazy though. Less than half health.
Sink or swim.
Yeah, if the goldfish could see the screen, it would have been fewer attempts, you know. He did say he watched paint dry for 10 hours, so.
And by God, our tort will swim.
He's sleeping. He's sleeping right now. Wake up! Please, Tortellini, you're going to die!
What's a man to a king?
The bleed was crazy!
What's a king to a god?
Oh, the knock!
You're quoting some,
What's a god to a goldfish?
What are you doing? Come on, heal more!
You're quoting some lyrics right now.
Oh! Friends code.
Dude, that was...
Fail. More! Oh, friends code failed. Rerun code. Why is Tortellini not winning right now? He's working on solving world hunger. Okay, it's your fault somehow. Okay.
Tortellini has finished his warm-up is complete, and now with this he has proven to everyone that he knows God is to beat, but only if Point Crow shows.
Well, that's a mod thing.
Oh God, not this.
I was like, what is Adele doing over there?
Okay. Oh, that was a massive hit. The knock, the bleed.
Dude, that's good progress. Okay. Look at that.
Yes, please. Oh, dude, what a champion.
The wobble combos are so big, though.
Heal. All right, you can stop healing now. Heal more. You're good, Tortellini. You don't need to heal anymore. Tortellini, you need to heal. Okay,
I'm eating popcorn again.
That's fine.
That's how
Doubling
compelled
dwarf?
I am.
Okay, you're dead. That's the first time. Okay.
Stop questioning Tort's strats. You can only dream of having 10% of his brain power. Healing 5 times while still full health is god tier strategy.
Okay, that's all of your heals. Healed. We are overloaded. All right, we're good. All right, just need to do flasks, and here we go. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, not all of your flasks, please. Oh no, no, my camera died, dude. I just realized I'm eating sushi on the stream. That's crazy.
Fish are friends, not food.
Maybe it's literally just.
I've had
damage.
sushi
Let's
in a while.
change this up.
This sounds
Do
good.
Just like a ton of damage, right? Like just
93
just
attempts,
like,
by the way.
ton. All right,
Okay.
so
How many attempts did it take for me to beat Radon? I think Tortellini eclipsed my attempt count. Can we agree on that? Is that factual? Okay, so let it be known that I beat Radon quicker than this Goldfish potentially might beat Radon in. So I'm just saying, okay? I'm just saying.
Great stars, blood loss, frost debuffs for Dawn. We have that, okay. And then let me Ash of War. What Ash of War should we put on it? Let's try Bloodhound stuff. Doesn't hurt, right? Maybe that's literally what we're missing is damage, you know? Especially if we're attacking a lot. Actually, I might do stamina instead of the two-handed, or maybe I dual wield. So I want to equip hold on right hand and then blood on the other hand. Okay, so this, right?
Damn.
So this basically.
That's gonna be some big bonk.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Maybe.
Apparently
with,
85.
Like a bajillion, like that's good. If we get those off, like we're set, you know? Like just wailing on them, you know? Like this. That's crazy. Nice. Well, I mean, look at that. It was like instant. Okay, all right, just don't use all your blasts, Tortellini, please. Not all of them.
I'm eating so much popcorn now.
Nice. Okay. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Good heal. Okay. All right. That's good.
That's just one hug. One hug is fine.
Regain all of our stamina. Come on.
Compassion is good.
Attack. And do like proper damage.
Tortellini do be tanky right now, huh?
Come on, hit again. Good heal. What? Dude. Okay. Bloodhounds. Yes. Please. Yes. Please. Please.
Yo!
Please. Yes!
It actually did it! Tortellini won!
Let's go! Oh my god! He did it! There's no way! He dodged! He fucked! He weaved! Yes!
Dude, I thought this was gonna be a Tortellini could not overcome phase 2. I was like, there's no way, but there was some big hits and timely dodges here.
What? Dude! All of our stamina. Come on. Now we just need to, like, attack. And do, like, proper damage. Okay. Come on, hit again. Good heal. What?
Like, right there.
Okay, Bloodhounds. Yes! Please! Yes!
It's like the light didn't affect him there.
Good heals. Please! Oh, please! Yes! That's my goldfish! Let's go!
Fewer attempts than it took you.
Oh my god! He did it! There's no way! He dodged! He fucked! He weaved! Yes,
Yeah, I was thinking his like poise or something was so high, but yeah, it was like iframes or something, right? Timely iframes, I guess, of whatever Ash of War that is. I did notice, because he's doing some big bonks, there was one attack that he just kind of naturally dodged due to the trajectory of the character's swing. Right? You get low to the ground, you just naturally dodge some things.
He dodge, he attack, he's the snack that fights back.
That's my goldfish! Oh my, that was crazy, dude!
When this becomes a YouTube video, I hope all the comments are just praise fish.
That was insane!
Yeah, that was good. That was great. Tortellini, man. True hero, true champion, huh? That was good. Those are good videos. Damn, that's crazy. That's crazy. Just want to be able to master. Yeah, we can maybe do that. We watched one lore video today, and then we went to some goofy stuff. So, but the next time we'll start with another lore video, and see what we find. You know. 15-hour work shift, rip. Well, I hope you're doing well. That sounds brutal. Damn. That was good. That was good. Solid. Good job, Tortellini. And again, apparently Tortellini has passed recently, or somewhat recently, so rest in peace, Tortellini. What a gamer. I was gonna look for a comment complaining about the goldfish here, so yeah, we do like the lore here, huh? What's going on, TCA? Yeah, that's Point Crow, everyone. Looks like he does some more Elden Ring stuff and other game challenges if you guys are interested. So, but yeah, all the videos that we watched today were sick. Lore video, some Carbont, some Dance Pad, Millennia, and some Goldfish beating Elden Ring type stuff. So, there's good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, Elden Lord Fish. Next stream, maybe next Wednesday, our usual Wednesday, Thursday cadence. So, you're doing a water change with your fish in the hope they can play E33 with you. Can your goldfish beat Expedition 33? And also give us their thoughts on the story as well. Yeah, I think next Wednesday. I'll take Sunday, Saturday, or Sunday, Monday, Tuesday to work on the edit, so. And then we'll come back. But yeah, guys, no, I'm excited for Expedition 33 as well. I am excited. Have a good one, D-Link. Yeah, we're going to be closing out here in a hot second. When do you reckon the next video will be out? I don't imagine it'll be super long. Because, yeah, the only parts I have to edit next are really like Ramana, or after Ramana, and heading into the last two streams. So most of it is just Radon prog. So maybe later next week at some point, hopefully. You don't think you'll ever bring yourself to finish it? Did you just lose interest the bad trip? With or without crying? Oh yeah, maybe the game will make your goldfish cry. Will I cry? I don't know. It's hard for me to cry on stream when it comes to games. Yeah, that's the next game that we're going to be hopping into, Parky. Complainers be like, Fish Elden play is mid. Yeah, that was good stuff. We'll come back again. Thank you guys for hanging out. And yeah, we'll think about more vids. If you have suggestions, maybe like let me know in the Discord or something. We have some stuff on the watch history, so. But yeah, we definitely need to do more lore, more Carbots, and then whatever else was out there. So yeah, nice thumbnail. Thank you. I didn't know what to do for that. I wanted to do a theater sort of thing, but I just found this billboard thing instead, so I just threw the billboard on there. Your little girl always used to sit and watch you play. She liked to cheer you on. You lost her before you could finish it. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, maybe one day, maybe one day you'll decide you want to finish it, and she'll be watching from afar. She'll be looking down on you, upon you, and watching you finish it up, just like the old times, huh? Yeah. Yeah. No, you guys are the best. Thank you guys for hanging out. No, it's all good. It's all good, the bad trip. No worries at all. Yeah. But okay, y'all. I will be heading out here then. Thanks for hanging out. We'll do some more of these and get into some more stuff in the future. Sounds good. Okay. All right, you guys. Have a good night. Have a good rest of your weekend. Start to your week. All of that good stuff. And see you next time, okay? We might have some like random other game streams here and there as I take a break from editing, but yeah, next Wednesday, Thursday, Elden Ring type stuff. Okay. Bye-bye, guys. Go brush your teeth.